There it is. I feel flipped.
I know, right? Everything just gets so much better.
Uh-huh. I like me being on both sides of the room at this point. I'm on this side, and I'm on that side.
And on that side. What is up, everybody? Welcome back. MuseMe TV. It's another day. It's another day. Another day. Episode 50 or 87.
87.
87.
Ocho siete.
We're back at it again. I took a little break. I was actually trying to get a podcast in on Tuesday. Nobody showed up. I was pretty disappointed. So, yeah.
I guess you didn't call me. Could have called.
I didn't know.
Could have.
I kind of feel like we have an established thing going on here.
Okay.
So, but I do appreciate that offer.
I don't know if I'd show up, but you could have called.
You could have asked.
You could have. The only way I would have known is if, I don't know. I just think I just went to Raw and saw someone home.
No, yeah, that was Raw and Sauce.
Yeah, Tuesday in Albuquerque, there's only one open mic, and I went, and then I promptly went home.
How was that one? I didn't get to go that. This week has just been fucking hectic. How was it?
Oh, it's the same. I mean, it's the same exact thing that you would expect at the same exact time on the same exact channel. Can't complain. At least there's a mic on Tuesday.
But don't you think that there's some days where it might be a little more popping than others, or maybe somebody's there that you don't or do know, or you're just like...
The comics always tend to outnumber the audience on a lot of the open mics. So, comics, we tend to know each other's sets pretty well. That's why I keep on trying new shit, try to switch it up, and you only really hear one joke repeated every now and again.
Okay.
But yeah, it's the same stuff. It's a workout. You try new shit, and I did a whole new Drake bit that has been kind of rattling around in my head for a while. It didn't go well because it's just comics, and now I realize, like, as I was saying, there's like, oh, this shit's been rattling in my head for like 3 years. This joke is like 3 years old. I just never did it. You know how it's brand new, but it's 3 years old?
Oh, it's been bubbling.
Yeah.
Just been there.
Yeah.
I guess that's the sense of like jokes that you just kind of think about. You think premises and things are funny. And then when you have a chance, you're just like, oh, well, maybe I should just actually just throw it out tonight or something.
And that makes me think like, oh, I should have just did it 3 years ago, recorded it, and just
worked it out and just recorded it and just put it out there, move on. Now I've got this brand new joke that I kind of like that's 3 years old. Well, nobody knows that.
No, it's they know.
Why? Because it's referenced.
It's reference a song that like it's not really on the tip of anybody's mind anymore.
Okay.
Like the point where I actually have to sing it, and then they're like, oh, okay. Okay, I get it.
I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
But just not by saying the name anymore.
No.
What is it?
So it's hold on, we're going home. Just hold on, we're going home. Just hold on. It's hard to do these things alone.
Okay.
Oh, 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 oh. I got my eye on you. Ooh, yeah. So it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, it's a song that's 3 years old. And then when I said it, I was like, oh, this makes sense. I'm saying stuff that's on my mind, that's been in my mind. I took it off the shelf, and here you go. And then as I'm saying, I'm like, oh shit, it's old dated material.
And does it just go over people's heads where they're just like, wait, what is he talking about?
No, it's more like lukewarm. Like it would have been hot if it was still being played on the radio.
Okay.
People go, oh shit, but it's not, and it's just like, okay, that's a thing, great, and then you just gotta move on.
It's so crazy too how like your jokes or joke writing kind of has to stay relevant with the time. I mean, you can write jokes that kind of are like, oh, this joke will last forever.
Yeah.
But there are like, jokes that kind of have to go with what's going on.
I'm going to go with 90% of all the jokes will not go well. And I mean, look at like 10 years ago, you go, oh my God, Eddie Murphy, Raw, Delirious, 1986, 89 or whatever. That was the best special ever. 10 years later, now you go, I mean, it's funny, but I don't think you can say any of that shit anymore. And I think that yeah, you have to write relevant, but you also want to write kind of more universal shit that like you can say in 10 years, in 20 years, you know, like just kind of universal truth. And I don't know what the fuck that means. It just sounds good, but universal truth.
As long as it can get across
Yeah.
to a wide span of audience through a period of time.
Like drinking will always be the same. I feel like drinking has been the same since we invented alcohol. You drink, you get fucked up, you do fucked up shit, and at some point you can make it funny. But, you know, look at like Lucille Ball. You know, I Love Lucy. Her husband came home and was like, to the moon, like basically threatening her physical harm at every turn. And everyone was like, oh, that's so funny. Like, oh, no, that shit would not be acceptable now.
Yeah, you hear that in one of my favorite shows in the 90s was Married with Children.
Yeah.
He was so like, just like, God damn, why am I married to you? And like the most like,
it was crazy.
asshole.
Now that we look back at it, it's like, Peg was kind of dope back then. Peg was kind of dope.
She took all of this.
Yeah, like she was. Yeah, she is a fucking saint. She took all of that abuse, and she still looked pretty good. Like she looked pretty dope.
Dude, yeah,
she looked pretty dope.
You know what's crazy too is like speculating like those fan theories. It's like she probably was just sleeping around the whole time. That whole time.
Peg is a fucking Peg Bundy is a saint. God damn it.
Oh my god. Did you see her kid? No, with that kid around. Kelly, she was just like her mom. She must have gotten it from somewhere. Fan theory right there. Right
Reddit /
Let me just
fan theory.
Start busting those out everywhere.
You know, that's the thing. Now that I'm older, the beauty of what I enjoy of like living in today is the fact that you can watch shit from back then at any moment. Like even up until maybe 5 years ago, you're Married with Children, like you couldn't just watch it. You'd go find the DVD, buy it or rent it, and then you could watch it. Or, you know, even 5 years before that, it's like if it wasn't on TV, you were shit out of luck. Like if you missed a rerun, like if you missed it when it first came out, you're like, well, I hope I'll catch it on the rerun in 7 years. And then the rerun happens and you miss it. Now you just go, like I'm watching Clone Wars, Star Wars on Disney Plus, and it's like this shit's 5 years old, and you can watch any episode you want at any point.
Don't miss a beat or anything
at all. And what's crazy is when it was being aired, I was like, am I missing episodes? And I kind of just stopped watching because I was like, oh, there's just shit I don't get. But no, they played it out of some weird. They played it out of order for whatever reason.
Okay.
And then I found like fan theory is like, hey, if you want to watch Clone Wars, watch it like season 1. You want to watch, whatever 1, 2, 5, 7, 3, whatever in that order. So I just went back and started watching it in that order, and shit makes phenomenal sense.
That's crazy too. Oh man, the Star Wars franchise just blows me away with how much it has built to it. It's just like, hey, we have this basic story that we started off with, and now they just grew it into what it is now. It's like, I don't care what anybody says. He didn't think of all this beforehand at all. But the way that it's grown now, I give him props.
I mean, it's always been kind of like that because with the books that nobody I know read.
Nope.
Book.
They have a book.
Yeah, you go to the bookstore and you just go, oh, there's no way I can start. Like, this is not like, oh, there's a book a year come out. No, it's like you go to the bookstore, and I just remember seeing like 50 books. And you sit there and go, I don't know where to begin.
Damn.
There was no Reddit back then to be like, where do I start reading?
It's almost like manga now. Like,
yeah.
Like I've used to read manga a lot, and that's just like, oh my God, why is there fucking 250 volumes of this damn thing?
And I'm okay with it because that shit's numbered.
Yeah, okay, yeah, right.
Like you just go to initial D1. Let me just go read that,
Yeah.
And again, there's a lot. But, when a Star Wars, like, you literally had to find someone who had read all of them and be like, this is the way you want to read it. Because they weren't numbered. They're just like, oh, Luke Skywalker there. And this, you're like, I don't know where to begin. It was very intimidating. Okay. I don't know why we're talking about this.
No, but do you think it'd be the same concept with the Harry Potter books now? Like if somebody picks them up and they're just like, oh, look at this. I got this one. Would it be able to read it in chronological order, or would it still... I guess, I got the third one, but I'm reading that one first because there's so many books of them now.
Yeah, I feel like Harry Potter is not that bad because I think there's only 5 books or 6 books, something like that.
Yeah, I think 6 or 7.
6 or 7, right? And then you can also go to Reddit and go, which Harry Potter Which Harry Potter do I start with?
Well, that's the crazy thing now too. Is like we have somebody else to always tell us.
Yes. So, and there's the same thing with like the Dungeons and Dragons books. Like I wanted to read Dungeons and Dragons book, but like going to the bookstore, you just had 1,000 books, and I don't know where to begin.
Dungeons and Dragons would be crazy because I played it one time. Have you ever played it?
Yeah, I like. So the problem with growing up in the 80s is that you got a lot of good shit beat out of you. Like Dungeons and Dragons, you couldn't do that. Like, you ever want to have sex at any point? Like,
no, yeah.
And then like even comic books was not cool in the 80s.
Even like the early 2000s. It was barely starting. Like, I know I got in shit for like, oh yeah, you like Pokemon? That's so gay and like shit like that. So I hate that transition. Well, I kind of like it, but
I think you're kind of at the tail end of the right age. You're 30, and you kind of like, you had a childhood. I had a childhood of like trying to be a man and play like physical sports and kicking people in the face. If you haven't kicked anybody in the face, are you really going to be a man? No, you're not going to be a man.
You got to fight somebody.
Yeah, fight
to be a man.
Red meat, fucking murder an animal, something.
Oh man,
who's online?
We've got 2 people right now.
What's up, y'all?
What's up, everybody? Thank you for viewing. We had 3, but that person left.
Fuck that. No, I'm sorry.
Did you get pissed off? I'm sorry. We're talking about Red.
He's playing Dungeons and Dragons right now. He's like, fuck it.
We're done. Have you ever been hunting?
I have. I enjoy it. I enjoy it thoroughly.
What'd you do? What'd you go hunting for?
I went go hunting for elk. Elk. And this was in New England. And, you know, the laws are a little bit more loose, so we had it was a little bit easier hunt. I won't get into details, but I did enjoy the waiting around. There's a lot of what I mean easier is there are laws to make things difficult.
There are like go ahead.
What was your question?
Are you talking about like property laws and shit like that? Like if you own so much private land, you can hunt animals there, but if you don't, then it's more restrictive.
I mean, some states are like that, but I think the more common one, which I did not break, I'm just saying there's laws that make it difficult to hunt, is like the baiting laws. Like you can't bait, like set up a feeder to where it's like a machine that basically just periodically drops feed, and then the deer and the elk come and eat, right? Okay. So therefore you just wait outside and you wait for them to show up and then you shoot them. That's like laws that make things difficult. I will let you know that we were in an easier setup for whatever reason, but you know, there was like a couple hours where you just sit there and wait and you just don't move, you don't say anything, and you just wait.
Okay. Yeah, okay. That's more like bait hunting.
Yeah, bait hunting. And a lot of people are like, you know, that's not really hunting. I was like, I'm not trying to be fucking John Rambo over here. I'm just trying to shoot this deer so I've got meat.
But don't you think the thrill of the hunt is actually exciting?
No.
Come on!
Have you ever been hunting?
Yeah, I have.
Okay. That, like, people think like,
tracking and all that stuff. That shit's cool. That shit's cool.
It's cool for 10 minutes.
No.
10 days later, you're still tracking a goddamn animal you haven't even seen.
Yeah,
fuck that.
Because there's been some times where my grandpa, I used to go with my grandpa.
Yeah.
And he hunted, killed the animal. We had to go find it after we shot it and stuff because it takes off and we just like trail the whole thing.
Yep.
In the morning, we're just like, oh man, well there looks like there might pass through here. Oh, there's so many cool aspects about it. I like it.
I think like that's kind of like watching poker on TV, where you know,
StarCraft.
Yeah, well, poker on TV, you know, they just show you kind of the highlights. They don't tell you they're just the highlights, but they kind of abridge this 3-day game into 30 minutes, and everyone thinks it's all like every other hand. People are just going all in. It's like, no. Like with hunting, it's just you're just going hours of nothing going on, or you're huffing it for hours. You know, I enjoyed it. I enjoy the aspect of it, but it's not. It's like it's a complete time suck.
I can see that. Okay, that makes sense. I guess I could see that.
How did we get onto hunting?
We started off with books from Star Wars. Noan, right? I'm just saying that. Hopefully, I'm saying that correctly. He's Nowan.
N-O-W. Nowan.
No, Nowan. Anyways, he said hunt people. Bait people.
I mean, all you got to do is just set up free samples at a Costco. Let's go.
Everybody would be there quick. I don't know. Do you feel like now when you go to a supermarket or something, it's kind of like cattle? We just all like kind of row through these kind of aisles, kind of have to get in line, buy her stuff. Everything's all automated now.
I think it's like I don't see it so much here as much, but like when I was in DC, I just remember having like almost like panic attacks. Like I'm looking for spaghetti sauce and just staring at it, and it's literally like a third of an aisle of spaghetti sauce, and then you've got like this 1 4-foot section. It's one brand, and you've got like 90 different flavors.
Oh, God.
And then you go another 3 feet over, and it's exactly the same thing but a different brand. Like I'm just sitting there, it's like Prego or Aunt whatever, or you know,
Right. Just so many names.
just so many and so many options.
So the thing that pisses me off too is when I'm just like there at the store and I'm just like, oh, I need some chili beans, and I go look at the beans. There's no chili beans there. Chili beans is in the Hispanic food aisle.
The Mexican aisle.
Chili beans, but not with the beans. That pisses me off. So I kind of get your frustration where it's just like you have this like, why is it not more organized, or like in central areas where
so it's like it's either you have way too many options, or it's like your options are spread. Like it doesn't make sense to me. But then again, you know, there's a reason why foreign cuisine is so different. You know, like you go to Ireland, literally that's all they could make was like potatoes, salt, and like sausage, and that was it.
Oh my God.
You know, and then you go to other places and there's like so many spices because that's what they could grow. You know, I do enjoy the fact that you could just go to a supermarket and literally anything you want is available.
Now it's even better with the super like
El
Walmart.
El Supre.
Like Walmart Supercenter. Like, remember when it was just like super, like you'd go for groceries and then you have to go to a different place to go get your utilities, and you have to go. Now it's just everything in one spot. Like,
I fucking like it. I mean, it's convenient, but then again, Amazon. I mean, I know Amazon. I know Amazon's like, it's kind of okay here, but in DC, everywhere, anything. Like, I lived above a supermarket. I lived above one, and I literally bought almost everything on Amazon.
okay.
I just go, like anything that wasn't like fresh produce or actual meat, I'd be just like, spices, order, you know, and it just come deliver. Like I didn't even have to leave my house.
Damn.
Yes.
I guess that makes life a little bit easier because, like, where do we have to do? Like, if it all comes to us and we get it all prepped and everything done, like, I don't know. That's where, like, human technology and stuff, I think, is going to be so much better. Making our lives better anyways. I don't know. I feel like that's a cool thing. I like technology.
I do too. You know, that just gives you the option of just being able to do whatever you're doing more. You know, like when I worked from home, or you know, I worked in an office in a field office, and then I took that job and I worked at home, and I was way more efficient at home, way more efficient because I don't have to commute. You know, I show up, everything I want, all my comforts, everything is there. I don't have to talk to anybody. Nobody's there to bother me. Everything I want is there. I'm way more efficient at home.
I guess it makes sense. Like there is that struggle too, where you have to go to work and just go to another building and follow the rules of what the other building is and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That always makes sense.
Like
difficult.
if you have to be at work at 9, that means you have to leave your house at 8. That means you got to wake up at 7:30. I could literally wake up at 8:55, turn my laptop on, and go, okay, let's work. You know, the quality of life is better. I could do push-ups at my house desk. Just do push-ups, boom, knock it out while I'm on a conference call. You can't do that shit in a meeting.
I mean, yeah, that's true. You can. You can't. But I mean, if you have a desk job, you can be one of those weirdos who just like, yeah, I like to do squats or just do like simple exercises to freak other people out.
Keep on talking.
And see, exactly. Just because you got to get that exercise in, though.
Yeah.
Is that weird, or is that just trying to make sure you have maintaining your way of life?
Yeah, I think that for me, it's not weird. Like if I saw somebody doing that in the office, I'd be like, okay, I'm going to give them at least an hour to cool down. I don't want them sweaty talking to me at the fucking meeting and shit.
Yeah, why did he get all sweaty before the meeting? I mean, you would think
he was doing squats, sir. He was doing squats.
You get it, bro. You get it.
I mean, squat time, right?
Well, see, it depends on like the work environment, right? If you got a bunch of bros just like, yeah, let's do it. Let's suck each other's dicks. Yeah.
That was... Wait, what?
Dumb bullshit like that.
Yeah, I sold cars for like a year, and that's what that shit was. That shit was like uneducated fucking kids, just dudes being like, let's fucking sell cars. And we were doing push-ups in the fucking parking lot.
Who could pick up the car?
Yeah, man. It was like the broiest of bro. Because you give dumb kids good money and you literally make them work from open to close literally 6 days out of the week. And then they end up having to show up on the 7th day to sell a car. So you just sit there and go, we literally are the broest of bros, just doing creatine shots and fucking redlining it and just dumb shit. I never want to do that again.
That wasn't... Okay, you heard it here, folks.
I never want to sell cars again. Never.
Would you be any kind of salesman?
Yeah, I think, like, especially here in Albuquerque, I just really want to get a day job. And I think the easiest thing to get into is like selling cell phones again. I did it back in the day, and I just like, just sell cell phones. Fuck it. It's good money. It's easy. You just sit there and just do the work. And a lot of these cell phone shops, you have enough downtime. I can write. I can edit my video on my phone, shit like that.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I don't want to do a call center. There's a lot of call centers in Albuquerque for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I don't want to sell cars. I just want to be inside, sell cell phones. Cell phones sell themselves. What do you need? Oh, you want that? Great. Here it is. Bye.
Yeah.
And then, you see 4 customers in the course of 8 hours.
I would love to see you deal with an old person trying to get a cell phone.
I don't mind that. I don't mind that. I don't like...
What? I don't know what questions they would ask, but
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it would be pretty difficult.
Like, I just remember... And this was the beginning of when cell phones came out. And people were like, oh, I don't get it. And they're like, here, show me. And you kind of like don't touch the phone and it just kind of like... You show me. I'm not touching your phone. I remember there was like when dick pics were just starting to happen on flip phones. This woman comes in and she's like, hey, how do I delete this picture? And it's just like her getting dick down. You're like, I don't fucking want to see that ever again. Fucking hit the delete button, bro.
Haven't you ever deleted it before?
Yeah.
I could see that. Any dick pics in your life?
Not sent to me, thank God.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, you've heard the joke. I talk about how, like, I've been with my wife 11 years. Like, we were married. We're going into our 3rd year, but we've been together for 11. Hey.
That's goals.
Yeah, 11 years. We celebrated dating 11 years ago in January. And, there was no dick pics back then, 11 years. Fucking Blackberries, bro.
I hate when they say that too. It's like, well, they sent dick pics with Polaroids. Like, there was no such thing as dick pics. Nobody was really thinking about sending a dick pic.
I want to. So I'm gonna get tattoos, right?
Oh my God, really?
Most definitely. I'm fucking 40 years old. Let's get fucking tatted. I want like.
You should have had it already.
Nah. Like, my younger self was taking care of my future self, which, like, now if I wanted to go into like a professional career, my younger self didn't make any I don't want to say stupid, any rash decisions. So my younger self was looking out for my present day self, and I appreciate that. Now, my now self wants to take care of my 16-year-old self. Like, let's get fucking tatted, bro.
Holy shit.
But no, one of the things is like, hey, if I was younger, I'd get a tattoo on my thigh of a quarter. So when I took dick pics, like, you had something to like measure it to, but the quarter would be the size of a dime.
What?
Oh, you don't get it?
No, because you have a huge dick.
No, because I have a small dick. I have a normal size dick, but you want to make it look bigger.
But the quarter is a smaller size comparison to your dick.
Yeah. So yeah, but you want to, when you take like size comparison, people like always put like a quarter. Yeah. So the thing is like this, right? You make it look like a quarter.
Oh, okay. I get what you're saying.
It is right there, and people go, "Oh my God, that dick is fat."
I see it. I don't know.
That dime was touching my dick, by the way, through my jeans. Enjoy that.
You heard it here, folks. We just throw money around like.
Yeah, I got money to blow.
That's how we do.
So talk to me. You seem kind of stressed out. Your work killing you?
Works.
Work.
I don't know. I kind of came from like a Mexican household, and it's all about like making sure you have money to live your life and stuff like that. And coming into comedy now is kind of stressful because there are those moments where I want to just like, you hear it all the time. You're just like, you can't really have a day job, or you can't really have a job that you have to be committed to. You can't really be stuck down on something. but I kind of put myself in the situation where I am already here, but now I'm introducing comedy to my life, and it's just like, God damn it. It's kind of, comedy's conflicting with my life, but I like comedy so much that it's just like, fuck, I got to find a way to figure it out. I got to figure it out. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all got to figure it out, right? I mean, the faster we can figure out how to make money, the faster we can put it as a priority.
Yeah.
Until we make money, it's difficult to put. It's hard to prioritize things that don't make you money over things that make you money. You know, we live in a society, but
I mean, this is what pisses me off so much too. It's like Joe Rogan talks about it all the time. Is like you kind of put yourself in this kind of dome or like this fucked up situation where you can't really get yourself out of.
Yep.
And I kind of feel like that's where I put myself into. Like, I have so much stuff and so many things, and like I feel like I have a bunch of priorities in my life now that I just can't fuck around with it.
Did you ever hear that Bill Burr sleeping on a futon quote?
No.
Okay, so Bill Burr, you know Bill Burr, one of the greats. He says this.
Paper Tiger now out on Netflix.
Paper Tiger out now, Netflix. He says this on his podcast. Realize that sleeping on a futon when you're 30 is not the worst thing. You know what's worse? Sleeping in a king bed next to a wife you're not really in love with, but for some reason you married and you got a couple kids and you got a job you hate. You'll be laying there fantasizing about sleeping on a futon. There's no risk when you go after a dream. There's a tremendous amount of risk playing it safe.
I know. I hear those all the time, dude, but I don't know. It always it hits me so hard.
I get it.
It's a little difficult. And I know there are some things there's been so many times where I'm just like, fuck, I should just throw all my stuff at my parents' house and just go to California. Fuck it. I have no kids, no real priorities. But then I'm just like, fuck, what if I don't do it? What am I going to do? What if I don't make it? I just barely started to pay this car and I'm not even done paying it off. What if I can't pay it off? And, all those stupid...
Where do your parents live?
My parents live in Los Lunas. So that's like 30 miles.
30 minutes. Yeah, 30 minutes or so from here.
Yeah. And they have...
Can you live at home?
I can, but it's so far. I don't want to live out there. I used to live with my grandparents, but they lived in Taos. That was up in.
Oh yeah, it's even further.
Yeah, that was further. But that was I had that same situation where I had a stable home to live at, and I saved all my money to do whatever I wanted. So I really got into music, and I dedicated myself
and bought a whole lot of shit
and got a lot of fucking bullshit. It's not bullshit.
It's not bullshit.
I love
it's just
my stuff.
It's a very loving word of shit. It's just a lot of shit.
Yeah, like a mini fridge? Come on! What the fuck?
I'll tell you this. You found comedy earlier in your life than I did. I found comedy 30 or 31, maybe 31. I think I'm going into my 9th year.
And you're about to be 40.
I'm about to be 40.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going into my 9th year now. And, I think if we were smarter... I'll tell you the story. Fuck it. I'll tell you the story, right? I started acting when I was young. I was in national commercials when I was like 5 and 6 years old, 5, 6, maybe 7 years old.
And how did that go? Like, did your parents just put you out there, or did you just kind of get discovered in the corner?
My aunt, no, she's my cousin, but she's like the generation older than me, we treat her like an aunt, but she's my cousin. Anyways, either way, my aunt / cousin, she was in the industry. She was kind of like a model actress, and then she did helped casting, stuff like that. And she would always be like, "Hey, we need Asian kids. We need Asian, for diversity commercials and stuff like that." And at the
Loy,
yeah, so
my
older sister and I would audition for these things, and for whatever reason, I would end up getting more of it. I was nailing more auditions than she was, and my mom was a single mom. She was having a hard time getting out of work and bringing us to the auditions, and then going to the show, going to the actual filmings and stuff. And then it got kind of weird. Like my sister would go out for the same parts as I would, and I would get it. And so my mom was like, "Yeah, let's put this on hold. Grow up. when you get older, you can figure out what you want to do with it, right? So after I graduated high school, I started to pursue it. I pursued it. I was doing really well in Boston until I moved to LA, and yeah, you just make a lot of bad life just decisions when you don't know what you want to do. So I didn't find comedy till I was 30. By that time, I had already walked away from like, I would say somewhere in the ballpark of like $30,000 of credit card debt, you know, just for whatever reason. But I didn't, looking back at it, it's like, oh, I should have bought a camera. I should have bought lighting. I should have bought microphones. I should have, you know, all of this, you know, because I was buying shoes and stupid shit. And I just ended up walking away from it. And it was not a good investment. And I think that if I had found comedy in my 20s, then I probably would have done the same thing, but it would have been more for like gear and like financing my own like production studio of some sort. But I was stupid.
Okay. See,
yeah.
And that's why I feel like I'm a little bit lucky coming into comedy now, because I'm like, I compiled all this stuff because of the random stuff that I did throughout my years. I was like, oh yeah, I want to be a photographer. And I got these cool lights and threw them on now that they're perfect lighting for my podcast room.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I see that.
These microphones were actually used for recording for my band.
Dope.
And I was just like, fuck, dude, these are perfect. These look amazing. They have great sound. And it all just compiles after time. And it just...
Yeah, and I would have done all of that with the money I put on credit. Just max out the credit cards, fuck it, and then walk away from it. But you know, you're fucking stupid. I was not thinking podcasting wasn't a thing back then.
Yeah.
Stand up video production was kind of a thing, but I was like, that's not me acting. That's me being a video producer. I don't want to be a video producer. I want to be an actor.
Yeah, because the earliest camera that I have was actually, remember those flip cameras?
Yeah,
I had one of those.
And so did every YouTube star back in 2006, 7, 8, 9,
That's
10.
how it all started.
You know, but I didn't buy one of those. You know, I bought frivolous shit. I don't think I own anything that I bought with the credit card debt that I walked away from.
Holy shit.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
And again, if I was smarter, I'm like, oh, I would have bought a video editing computer back then, and you know, XYZ stuff that I could turn around and sell for something. But you're dumb. I was dumb. I didn't know what I wanted to do. So yeah, I kind of look back and I wish I had found comedy earlier in my life.
How do you feel now, though, that you actually don't have like a... I guess that's not really like an anchor or anything, but you kind of can just like go anywhere you want to go.
Feels fucking amazing. But the problem is, it's kind of like I have to really figure out if I can make money, like come out in the green. So the thing is, like, yeah, I can get booked in a lot of cities, you know, for $200, $300, $400 a show. It's not the best gamble because it's going to cost me $200-$300 to fly there, and then it's going to cost me a couple $100 for the hotel. And I could do it and maybe break even, but are we in the business of breaking even? Not anymore. I mean, it's got to be worth my time and money at this point.
Trying to make money off of this.
Yeah. That's the thing with comedy. It's like you can, if you really do well in connecting and networking, you can string that shit along. Like, you know, you go to Milwaukee for a couple days, and you go to Chicago. You just drive over to Chicago. You drive over to Cleveland, and you drive back. But next thing you know, you're gone for three weeks out of the 3 weeks out of the month. And you know, that's I don't want to be a road comic like that. What's up, y'all?
King, what is up? Thank you again. He just said late night edition.
What up, Kang? Late night edition.
We're just here hanging out, talking, learning more about Loy. That's crazy. Again, it's intense. Comedy is intense. Like last night, I did the show at Sidewinders.
Well, how'd that go?
That was actually pretty decent. Like, it was a good show. And so the way it works is actually kind of weird because it was the burlesque comedy show. Right. So it was a variety show. The burlesque dancers went up, and I kind of felt like, oh man, I gotta like step up my game somehow. So I actually wore some really sexy ass tights, and I took them off, or I took my pants off, and I wore tights up there. But they tipped me, and that's weird because it felt like it kind of felt like it wasn't for my comedy; it was for my body. And
and how does it feel?
It makes me like, what the fuck? It's weird, but yeah. I don't know if that should be a gimmick now because it actually kind of was funny.
Don't do gimmick comedy. Don't do gimmicks. Don't do props. Don't
bring out my hat.
Yeah. Hey, here's a plastic hamburger. Like, don't do that.
So okay. Here's an example. Remember? Well, you know who Bert Kreischer is, right?
Yeah.
The Machine.
The Machine
Taking off his shirt.
Yeah.
That's a gimmick.
It is.
Is it bad or is it good?
I mean,
yes, a piece of meat. They love these legs. Anyways.
Yeah, I think, I don't know. He seems, knowing him and following his career well enough to know, like, he is a different person when he takes off his shirt. Like, when he was doing comedy before he took his shirt off, it was okay. It was like, and then he's just this different person. He's a different comic. Same person, different comic. Like, confident. Oddly enough, confident, like fucking reckless, like he doesn't fucking care. And I think that is kind of parts of what you need to be a comedian. Does it evolve into taking your shirt off and just being this guy? No, but you could tell, like, knowing Bert off of or seeing, don't get me wrong, I don't know him, but like seeing him off stage, you could see like he was having fun with his friends, hanging out, drinking, and then when you see him on stage, you're like, oh, that's something different. And then when he took his shirt off, it's like, oh, that's the same person. That's the person off the stage is on the stage.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
There's not a differentiate. There's not two difference between the two.
No. Because before it was like Bert the comic and Bert the fun-loving fucking guy full of energy off stage, and then it was like this weird disconnect. But when he took his shirt off, it was like, oh, that's the same guy. It's the same guy without a shirt on. It makes sense. It makes phenomenal sense.
I get what you're saying. Some gimmicks work, King said.
Yeah, some do, but
you never been a fan of prop comedy?
If you're going to be a prop comic, you gotta be prop comic. Like,
you gotta commit.
Carrot Top. Like, every joke has to have a fucking prop. Like, you can't just be, oh, here's some jokes. Oh, no, here's a prop. And it's to me, it's one or the other because.
Oh, okay.
At the end of the day, it's like, be you, but I don't, yeah. You don't want to be, so what happens when that joke gets old? You just could keep on carrying a rubber hamburger with you? Like,
hey, guys.
Hi, remember here? And that's sort of the weird thing about being a prop or gimmick comic is, like, people want that gimmick. He does the Machine at every show. Dice Clay, he was a gimmick.
Yeah, I've heard that story.
He's now become Dice Clay. Like, everywhere he goes, fucking the denim, like the cut off denim jacket and the fucking cigarette. Like, that's not him, but that's who he had to become because he's a gimmick. I don't want to. I want to be able to evolve. This is what I'm talking about this time, and the next time I'm not talking about this shit. I'm talking about something else. I'm not a gimmick. That's what I want. I am me, and as I evolve, I hope my fans evolve with me.
I get that. I understand.
Here's a fucking hamburger. Hey, do the hamburger bit, Angel.
Because I do want to incorporate music somehow into comedy. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that happens a lot. Happens a lot.
I don't want to be like, like Adam Sandler or anything, but it'd be cool to kind of like joke around. I've done some things where I kind of improv over like a guitar chord, and then whatever goes on in the room, I'm kind of improving off of it. Which is easy, but yet harder to make it funny.
Are you familiar with J.R. de Guzman?
No, I don't.
Okay, yeah, look up J.R. de Guzman, and he's a Filipino cat from the Bay, and he's a guitarist, and he just writes songs. He has jokes in between. It's not just all music, but like he has jokes that support his music. His music is funny, and then he just has different songs, and it's he's a great guy.
FAQ account, I think that's what it is. Welcome back, Loy. He said, welcome back.
Oh, what up? Sorry, I was like, what do you say? Thanks. Hey, hi.
And then King said Sacha Baron Cohen.
He's not really a stand-up comedian. I don't think Sacha Baron Cohen. Sacha Baron Cohen is fucking brilliant. Let's start with that. But
actor.
He's definitely an actor.
So this guy you're talking about?
Yes, J.R. de Guzman. What up, J.R. de Goose? De Goozy. Yeah.
So he does singing comedy, but still does bits in between it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So his hour, I think. He probably does about 5 songs in an hour, and he does bits in between.
Okay.
That's not J.R. de Guzman.
That's not him.
That's not.
That is not him, everybody.
Yeah.
And
that's J.R. de Guzman, an older one. That's a young, beautifully young J.R. de Guzman, and that's Mike Early.
How old is he?
I don't know.
I don't want to.
I opened for him. I've opened for him a couple times when he came to DC. Funny cat.
Nice. Well, that gives me more confidence.
Yeah, Bo Burnham, of course, he does it too, right? He doesn't really do a lot of bits. He kind of introduces his bit is just introducing the song, and then he does a song, and that song is funny. But there's definitely different ways to go about it, and there's no musical comics out here. Oh, Kevin Kennedy. Kevin Kennedy is kind of a musical comic, kind of.
Anyways,
I shouted at shut up. What up, Kevin Kennedy?
Food Stamp Gaming.
What up, Food Stamp? Food Stamp.
Welcome back.
I fucking love you, bro.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you for joining.
And King said, "You're right," with the Sacha Baron Cohen thing.
Yeah, brilliant. Like, it's fucking Talladega Nights. Fucking hilarious. Sacha Baron Cohen.
Talladega Nights. Oh, yeah. He was the...
Formula...
The pure... what was the fucking...
This is a French guy.
Yeah, but I forgot what the car he drove was.
Formula One.
No, but the Perrier or whatever.
Oh, Perrier.
Yeah, Perrier.
Formula...
Food Stamp Gaming said, "What do you think about Andrew Schultz?"
Andrew Schultz
he's a beast.
He's a beast. First of all,
but he's a racist.
Was he?
No, just kidding. I feel like every time he does his crowd work, though, it's always depicting of race.
Yes,
it's like no other there's no other crowd work to it besides like picking on somebody of their race when he does it.
It's pretty common.
It's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Hey, look at you. Hey, straight from the Rice House to my house, it looks like.
Oh!
See, that's all he... I feel like he does that way too much.
Yeah. But also,
Shout out to him.
I would love to open for Andrew Schultz. But I think that the big thing about Andrew is like he couldn't get his special sold. So he said, fine, fuck it. I will film it myself. DC Improv, what up?
That's entrepreneurship.
And then just upload it. Because I think that, and I'm really, 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 really embracing this as like a concept now. Like I'm thinking about filming my special here, just doing it myself and just putting it on YouTube. Because at the end of the day, it's like once your special's out, you stop doing that material anyways, right? So now your last special or any of your specials become your calling card to get booked for the next thing so you can build your next hour so you can film your next special.
Okay.
So the thing is, like, for me, I've been doing all of this material, there's jokes that I've been doing since my first 5-minute set, like there's bits and there's resemblance, there's bits in there that I still use. It's like, fuck it, let's put it down, let's get rid of it, and let's force me to start all over again, because right now it's like I've got 8 years of jokes that I can just go back into the well with and just go, oh, here's a joke.
So is like the special, once you get it going, is that your resume?
Yes. In my opinion, yes.
Yeah, just so that for the next time you're just like, hey guys, book me because this is what I do.
Yep.
And then while you're getting booked, you're working on your next resume.
Yep. Exactly.
Interesting.
Because it's so much like music, but the exact there's so many similarities to the music business, but the things that are not in the similarity column, it's the exact opposite. Like I can't do the same jokes in every city year after year. It's like it's got to change. Once the special's out, nobody wants to hear the special shit. They want to hear new shit. You can't just have a greatest hits album in comedy, in theory, right? You can't tour on it. So yeah, I'm ready. I'm like, I can do 30 minutes with my eyes closed. Here's just do 30 minutes. I'll do 45, take the best 30, and then at least I've got, another 20 minutes I can kind of build another special around. So when I go, I can actually do more material. But you're not anyone until you're somewhere, and you're not somewhere until you have content out there.
That's true.
Does it make sense?
No, that's very true.
It's like, oh, I'm a rapper. Great. Where have you been? Let me hear your shit. Oh, I don't have any shit. Okay, then, are you a rapper? You know?
Yeah, because I actually that's very true. It's so crazy. I actually recently posted an update of how many subscribers I've had on my YouTube channel. I'm just like, hey, I did the podcast. This is from last year, which I had 157.
Dope.
To this year, which is 266. And I posted on my Instagram, and this girl was like, oh, that's so sick. Do you post it anywhere else? On Spotify, iTunes, anywhere else? And I said no. And she's like, that's sad because you should. And I'm just like, whoa, fuck, I'm slacking. I need to do way more about promoting this more, being able to throw it out there, letting people know like that this is actually like a thing that happens all the time, that I got to do more. Promotion is actually a lot harder than like I thought, you know. That's one of the hardest things I feel in comedy or anything. The music industry, it was always so hard to promote ourselves all the time, keeping like it constantly going. And the same now, it's like you got to kind of like let people know, hey, I'm here, I'm doing this, I'm here, I'm doing this.
Also, you know, we're artists. You know, I think there's two types of people in this world: artists and business people. You know, and we just want to create the best art. Let us do the art, and then we'll have somebody figure the business. And that's why the record business is so fucked up for so many years, because you have these people just taking advantage of the artists. Just sign here, we'll take care of everything, right? But you know, I'm a victim of it up until basically now. It's like I will do everything now. Anything that needs to be done, I'll edit the video. I'll figure out promotion. I'll figure all that shit out, because I can't afford to pay someone to do it. But 5 years ago, I was like, I just want to be funny. I just want to write the jokes, tell the jokes, and go home. And I don't want to be the best podcaster. I don't want to be the best podcast editor. I don't want to be the best fucking graphic designer. But now it's like I got to be decent at everything.
Yeah.
You know, and that is a real hard pill to swallow, especially for most of us artists who are, for the most part, pretty lazy.
Yeah, because there's so many people that are funny, but yet they don't push their stuff out as much. And there's so many other people that are pushing their stuff out a lot, and
that are not funny.
Yeah, exactly. And it's crazy how like the demographic of like how to get it done is getting done, because I mean, I don't want to drop names, but there are people that like run their own shows and stuff, and they like do some amazing things, but they're not as funny. Like,
and, you know, and I will take their defense for just a brief moment. It's like, it's difficult to run a show. And then when you run a show, it's like, do you want to take the money or do you want to give money out to people? And the problem is that is like, if you run your own show, right, you're paying me to run a show. But the thing is like, now I got to host, because I don't want to pay somebody to host. But the thing is, like, that's why you run a show. You run the show so you can actually run the show and not host. Pay the host the $20 or whatever it is to host, and then you can do your longer set wherever you want because you're running the show. But people here are still kind of like, oh, it's my show, I'll host. I've never seen anyone that's running the show not host.
Okay.
So for me, like, I would run the show. I would host most nights, right? Because it's save myself the money, but like enough to like, where I'm writing the bits, I'm getting the bits polished enough, and like, okay, Angel, why don't this next week you host the show? Can I give you $20 to host the show? Great. And then I put myself in for 10 minutes in the middle somewhere.
Okay.
It's my show. I can do what I want, right? So, you know, comics go up right when the crowd's kind of warm. That's when you put me in. I do my 10, 15 minutes, whatever the fuck I want. It's my show. And then I give it back to you. I pay you your $20 and we're done. You know, like, but hosts here, or showrunners here, like, oh, it's my show, I'll host it. But are you getting better? Or are you just getting better at hosting while you're running a show?
Okay, because then it turns into like, oh, I'm hosting a show. Oh, but I got to try out new material. So I got to end up pushing a little bit more stuff out, or pushing it more than I have to. Because I learned that when I've done a host a few times, and there are those differences where you host, and if somebody does really, really good, there's no need to talk. There's no need to keep going on about other jokes and stuff. You just keep the flow going with introducing the next comic.
A host is a different skill set. It's not, hosting is a completely different skill set. And I think that for the most part, comedy clubs, your job is to basically get everyone facing the right direction, maybe remind them of some few of the householding, you know, don't record, fucking 2-drink minimum, whatever. And then you introduce the next person. Now, if you're running like kind of a showcase, your job might be including setting the table. So the comic tears the roof off. You need to set the table, bring him back down to middle somewhere. Comic bombs, bring it back into the middle somewhere. You know, like that's your job. But for the most part, your job is not really to be funny. Your job is like, hey guys, the show's this way. Oh, okay, the show's starting. My name is this. You guys ready for the naked show? Blah, blah, blah. You know, 5 minutes later, here's your feature comic. Your job as a feature comic is different from hosting, and your job as a headliner is different from the first two. It's like people think it's the same, but it's not. It's different skill sets.
Explain. Okay, so starting off, openers. Where's that? How is that skill set from openers?
I feel like opening and host in my book, hosting and opening are kind of the same thing, right? Or in that case, maybe even feature. So your feature is like, hey, you need to be 25 minutes entertaining. That's it. 25 minutes. You know, you don't want to bury the headliner, right? And you just want to be funnier than the host. The host is just funny enough to let everyone know, hey, the comedy show has started. 2 drink minimum. Fucking tip your bartenders.
Let's go.
Here's a joke. Here's the fucking first guy. Great. Your first guy was great. Here's the guy you came to see. You know, that's kind of the job. Or, you know, I think if you become a draw where you're selling tickets, people come to see you, you become famous enough, you can host. You run your own show and you go, hey, I'm hosting. I'm going to do 15 up front and I'm going to do 5 in between any comic I want. Why? Because people came to see me. It's like, it's Loy Lee and friends. People know me. They come see me.
Okay.
And I kind of will do whatever I think I want to do, you know, and then what I'll do is I take the headlining money and then I just pay someone to close out the show and pay a feature or whatever.
That makes sense too, because like you're kind of like in charge of the whole show. So if they came to see you, you can kind of dictate what's going on.
Exactly.
Instead of like if you're putting on a show like just to get people there, it just depends. Like
exactly,
because some people do bring other people more than other people, right? Like,
right.
You're just like, oh, this guy brings a lot of killers, so might as well have him on.
Mm-hmm. Or a lot of guests. You know, I got a lot of guests. Bro, I brought 10 people. Can I get more time? Yeah, you brought 10 people? Fuck yeah. I'll give you a little bit more time. But it's like if I'm the guy and I don't want a headline, you know, I'm going to go out there and just fuck around. I'm going to open the show. People know they got what they came for to begin with. They came to see me. Give them 15 minutes up front.
That's hilarious. Does that really work if like you're like, hey, I brought 10 people. Do I get more time? And then, but you're really bad. Do you still get 10 more time?
I mean, I'd give them more time.
They're like just supportive.
Yeah, but I'd put him closer towards the end because once he gets off, regardless how funny he is, people are going to leave.
Okay.
So, you know.
Maybe you did bring 10 people, but those 10 people are going to stay whenever they want to stay.
Yeah, so they're going to go. If you brought 10 people, I'm going to put you, if not closing, I'm going to put you closer to the end. Yeah, you like normally it's 5 minutes. If you want 9 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. You know, whatever you want. 10 minutes, I'll give you 10 minutes. Normally, if people are bringing 10 people.
That's a showcase.
But yeah, you know, for me, it's like, and I remember I did a show, and the show started at 9:30. I got on at 1:45. And the thing was 9:30. The show started at 9:30. I brought 15 people. This is the very beginning. And this was like, I did not intend. You know, I brought my wife because it was at the Comedy Store. I brought my wife, and my wife brought a friend. And then my wife's friend brought another friend, and that friend brought 4 friends. So by the end of the day, it was like 15 people, right? And nobody brought more than like 2 people. So they go, yeah. And they were dicks about it too. They were like, yeah, we don't have a lineup yet. But this is what it's kind of, Angel, you're going to go first. And then John, you're going to go second. And Robert, you're going to go third, right? And then we'll figure out the rest as it goes. And I'm young. Okay, great. You know, hoping I can get in the middle somewhere because I brought 15 people. Can I get in the middle where, you know, and then fucking going. People are leaving. And then the producers, what up, y'all? And then the producers went before me, introduced me. And I was like, hey, you know, it's 1:45. Can I just do 15 minutes? And they go, yeah. I mean, we're gonna light you at 6 anyways. So
Wow.
I was like, we waited all night. Literally, we're literally like the last people in there. And then the producer performed before me. And I was like, that's fucked. So that's when I really realized, like, yeah, I have to skew my way of like how shows are run.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So if you bring 10 people to your showcase, normally I'll give you 5 minutes. You bring 10 people, I'll give you 10 minutes. No fucking problem.
I'll give you 10 minutes.
No fucking problem.
You'll get
at the
10 minutes.
fucking end, bro.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Well, now I know if I end up closing a show, I know why.
Yeah, because you brought more people than anybody else, and they don't want them to leave.
That's crazy. See, what was cool about the band thing is, like, if that happened, they never really put your band at the end. Like,
Really?
yeah, because your band is not a headlining band. Like, they brought touring bands, like, out of state.
Okay.
And you were obviously bands that opened up for them. We opened up for them. Then most of the people came to see us because we're the opening band. Like, we're the local favorites. And then once touring bands hit the stage, like, everybody was dipping. So that's crazy that dynamic doesn't really work in music.
Yeah.
Because they would just leave. Like, unless they knew the touring bands or they knew they were going to be something good, they would stay. But most of the times they only came for their local bands.
And that's kind of why most places will have a local guy be the host or the feature for the headliner, because the headliner can't sell all the tickets and they just need a little bit of extra help, local help.
Okay.
They're like, oh, Loy, can you bring, it's like, fuck.
Because I know Zach did a hosting job today, actually, right?
I don't know.
I think it was today or something. I saw it on the
I haven't talked to him in a while. I saw him, but, just out here on the grind. Shout out Zach up Beta. Hey, baby.
That's what's up.
Yeah, man. Comedy's that crazy thing where we are in a golden age, and we can see, like, if you can fill seats, you make the rules at this point. If I knew back then, I would have been like, oh no, I'm not going at the end. I'm not going at the end. I'm going in the middle somewhere. If I'm not going in the middle, we're all leaving right fucking now. And I will pay for all the tickets. Like, I'll pay back everyone that came to see me, who didn't get to see me. We're fucking leaving. If I don't go in the middle, I'm fucking leaving.
They would have probably listened.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Because 15 out of the 30 people, you're gonna get literally half of the audience to leave in the middle of the show. Okay, fine, fuck it, whatever. Go in the middle.
That's crazy how that works.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it won't work. In my mind, it works. Like, do you want have the fucking crowd to leave? Like, we're gonna wait for you to get on stage, and then we're all gonna fucking leave in the middle of your set.
That would be funnier though.
Yeah,
make more sense.
I don't know. So it's as a comic, you kind of make the rules. If people come to see you, it doesn't matter actually really what you do. If you're selling tickets and people come to see you, you actually have the upper hand.
You have more of the leeway.
Yeah, demand what you want.
Leverage, as King says.
Amen. Fucking love you, King.
You know what's up, man. Shout out.
Shout out, King.
That's what's up.
King, where are you from?
Yeah, let us know where you're from. Where you listening from? Let us know.
Yeah, man. Comedy's that crazy thing. There's a lot of different models to it all, and I would say you just gotta find what works for you. Russell Peters would not be it would not be out of the ordinary for him to be hosting a show, and he's not even on the billboard. It's like one of his friends is headlining, and he'll just fucking host. Why? Because he just wants to work out material.
Okay.
Fucking, hey, what's your name? Okay, and then you start running a bit on this guy, because you can, because you're a host. Nobody came to see you. Nobody even knew you were there.
But you
get to do what you want.
Yeah.
Because you're fucking Russell Peters, or
somebody really bad.
Yeah.
King, I'm from Cali, but I'm currently lost in the Midwest.
I'm from LA, bro. Actually, I'm lying. I'm from Boston, but I spent the last 10 years in LA. I started comedy in LA.
And now he's in the Southwest.
Southwest by Southwest.
It's pretty deserty out here.
We're on a fucking mountain, bro. We're 5,000 feet up.
We're in the desert, dude.
I'm in the Mile High Club because I had sex with my wife up here.
That doesn't count.
I think it does. I'm literally mile high.
Maybe like if you were doing it on a porch swing or something, because it's moving. and so high of
You're
emotion.
gross. You're a fucking sinner.
That's hot. That's hot.
Yeah, it's like just boom. Boom.
And it just once you start rocking the motion, it's good.
Okay. What else? What else you got?
This is coming from me because I totally get laid all
Yeah, I
the
was gonna say
time.
because it doesn't sound like you guys saying. Oh,
Let me
fuck.
tell you about my rocking chair experience.
You fuck Nana.
The new Mulan movie is about to come out.
Dope. Guess who won't watch it? This guy.
Yes,
Why?
you
Because I
will.
don't care.
You'll be the first one there.
I will say China has been super progressive in their transgender efforts.
Fuck no. Did you know? Okay.
It's a joke, Mulan.
No. Okay, that's true. But
That was a joke.
you reminded me of something that kind of pissed me off recently.
I thought I triggered you for a second. I was like, oh, do we have a lot of transgender audience? Is that did I just offend them? Fuck.
Do you know what the South China Sea is?
Yeah, it's the south. It's a sea in South of China.
Do you know how it's supposed to be regulated?
Yeah, they kind of just start dropping bombs and that shit all the time.
Okay, so technically, anything that's a coastal line of the sea,
Yeah,
anybody owns. I think it's 15 nautical miles of it.
that makes sense.
Okay,
Yep.
so it's all of China's sea, and then it goes into other countries like
Yep.
Vietnam and Laos and all that stuff.
Right.
China claims that it's more than 15 miles. Their whole thing is way more, and they're actually creating little islands off of this shore.
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah.
that they can actually claim more of the land.
You realize that we are now banned in China because you're talking anti-China. I fucking love China. I fucking love China.
Okay, it gets worse. Do you know that most of the globes that get distributed to the United States are from China? Like all the globes
Yeah,
of the
that's
world?
fine.
Okay, so they are actually depicting the South China Sea without the actual measurement of the 15 nautical miles.
Yeah.
They're putting it as like, oh, China owns all of this bullshit.
We literally just got banned. We can never go to China now. Thanks.
China, I'm pissed.
I do not endorse any of these anti-Chinese sentiments.
Aren't you like fifth generation?
I am, but I
Don't
won't.
you? Come
No,
on.
I'm not trying to get banned on going anywhere.
Were you trying to get a set done in China?
Yes, I've done.
I'm done.
Done Asia. I want to go to China. Not now. Not at the moment. Just in general.
Oh man, that is crazy to me. That
Yeah.
just proves that
Well,
they're dictating what we should learn in the world.
Nobody fucking looks at the globe. Nobody looks at the globe.
Man,
Nobody even wants to go to China right now. Okay.
that's true.
Nobody wants to go because everyone's afraid of this racist fucking coronavirus.
Is it racist?
I don't know, but fucking races come out at night. Races come out at night.
There was something else that was just tweeted just a while ago about the coronavirus. Director General says the world is at a disinfective point. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I don't know what that means either. I'm not a doctor. I don't even play like I failed out of school so bad that I can't even play a doctor on TV.
Yeah, you can.
Races come out at night.
He can do it.
Races come out at night.
Okay, so here's like this little thing that shows all the confirmed coronavirus cases.
82,000, which is actually not
In the
horrible
world.
if you think about it. 78,000 is from China. 1,700 is from South Korea. 750 are on cruise ships, apparently.
I love how they're using emojis for this. Hey, let's just try to color it up.
What is that? Italy?
It looks
400?
like Italy, Japan.
186. India, 141. Malaysia, 93.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang. Keep going.
America, 59. I don't know what that is.
I clicked on it.
Click.
It's just going to show us the map. They're not going to actually show us. Hey, look, all these only have one case. Lucky bastard.
That's weird. That's the same flag.
No, look at the color scheme.
Oh, you're right. Fuck. Yeah, that's Thailand.
This one, 40.
I don't know what that is. Maybe Bangladesh. That's no, that's not England. That's either Australia, New Zealand. I get them mixed up.
Okay.
Fucking public fucking public schools failed me.
No, he did good. He did good, everybody. Give it up for Loy, everybody.
I want to go to China at some point.
You do?
I mean, not really, but I would like to have those options. I don't want to like say some anti-Chinese shit and then like try to then like book a gig out there and then like get denied at customs.
Well, I'm not saying I hate China or anything.
Did you just say you hated China?
I don't hate China.
You didn't just say that?
I don't. But there are some things that disturb me about China. Like,
so it's bad. So you're saying China's bad because they disturb you.
Disturbing is not the same as bad. That's the. Okay.
I think something's got lost in Chinese translation. I think you're.
Everything's getting muddled here very badly.
I think they're never gonna let you in. Nothing. Kang.
Legally Insane was asking what Canadians' numbers of corona cases. We just missed it. I think it was probably 3.
It's cold up there. Fucking coronavirus can't live out there.
Menacide said, hello, what is this shit? This is MuseMe TV. Thank you for joining. If you're not following, you should be. Make sure to subscribe, do all that good stuff, because we're here hanging out with Loy Lee in the studio.
What's up? It's your boy.
It's your boy, Loy.
It's your boy, Loy Lee. I got a podcast that's coming back. I've been on hiatus because I moved here and I just haven't had my studio equipment set up. It's called the Short, Pale, and Handsome Podcast. Short, Pale, and Handsome Podcast, found everywhere. And then I think we're going to start a sports podcast.
Really?
I think you've given me the inspiration to start a sports podcast, and it's going to be called Top of the Third.
Top of the third.
Top of the third.
So more like all sports, or are you just going to focus on something?
Yeah, it's going to be all sports, but it's all casual. It's all like, it's not stats. It's not like anything. It's like all just buzzworthy, casual fan shit. And the reason why I call it Top of the Third, if you're like, hey, what Top of Third? What do you mean? I'm a huge baseball fan. I'm a huge avid baseball fan, and I feel that casual fans show up at the top of the third. They don't get there at the opening pitch. They don't get there for the
top of the third is the third inning, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So people like when you go to a game and you get there early for like batting practice and then the national anthem and then like the opening pitch, and then you'll look into the parking lot and you'll see people just finally getting there at the top of the third. So it's a podcast for the casual fan.
You guys be on the lookout for that.
Top of the third.
That should be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. TOT3 podcast.
See, I would totally love to do that, but just like do anime.
Do it.
No, I can't have cool guests like you on.
Oh yeah. That's the thing. Like, and I'm a curmudgeon. So the Short, Pale, and Handsome Podcast is basically 30 minutes of me just talking about life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
It's not a bad thing, that's for sure.
No, I don't get along with people, and then I don't like people in my house, basically. And then top of the third is
he lives with his parents,
my in-laws,
with his mom.
Yeah, my mom doesn't allow me to have friends.
It's okay, dude. It's okay. It's not like I want to bring everybody to my house either.
Yeah, I know. Like when you're like, yeah, come to my house. I was like, you just want me to just walk around with my shoes on in your house? Okay.
You just invited me to your place without even asking me my last name?
Yeah, that's crazy. Like I'm dropping pins to random people on my friends list. Just if I become a fucking, what do you call it? A skin suit.
Well, how do you feel about people that do that online? They're just like, hey guys, I'm here all night. Come hang out. And they just post their pin on fucking in the mall or something, or like show exactly where they're at. And it's like some beautiful hot women.
I feel like it's a trap.
A trap?
I feel like whenever hot women do anything, it's like, oh, it's a trap. It's a trap. It's a trap. I don't know what they're trying to trap me for. I got trust issues.
They got you.
Yeah. That's frightening. Hey, I'm working tonight. You're like, unless it's a stripper or a bartender or stripper bartender, it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, what are you doing?
What is going on now that you have to tell us that you're still here?
Yeah. I don't follow cam girls though, bro.
You're not about the fans only.
Yeah, fans only. I don't know. I want to do it, but I feel like
do it. I'm gonna do it. I want to so bad. I got some tasteful nudes where I could just like be.
Like, can you do it without nudes?
I don't think. I think you can, but it's just not as powerful. It just doesn't profit as much. You got to at least throw a tasteful nude in there.
Nope.
Not okay. Implied nude. Would you do an implied nude?
Okay. So
why did he say no right away?
So we have a show coming up. It's called Comic Strip. And basically, we're supposed to strip down to whatever we're comfortable with.
Oh my god, you're not gonna do anything.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Bert Kreischer. Just
No, oh, wow. I even think you're a little scared of that.
I am. I don't want to show my titties all just fucking for free. Fuck it.
Do you have big nipples?
I don't. I got little nipples.
Okay, that's good to know.
I got little fucking fingertip nipples.
Gas mask, what is up?
What's up, gas mask?
Gas mask just said "it's a trap" is one of my favorite sayings.
It's a trap. It's a trap. Admiral Akbar. It's a trap.
Men aside, go ahead and judge this. It's okay. He said, "Hell no. Let me judge this first." Cheers. Cheers to you two. Thank you for joining. Still
Appreciate
here,
you.
hanging out.
Where you from, men aside?
Yes, give us some input. Where are you guys at? Do you guys want us to talk about something? Some more?
Name is city or state. That's what I want to hear. Fucking
city.
King was like, "Oh, I'm in the Midwest somewhere. None of your fucking business. Can't find me."
No, he didn't say he was in California.
No, he's from
first?
California, but he's lost in the Midwest somewhere.
Well, leave him lost in the Midwest. I'm pretty sure it's Kansas City. It has to be Kansas City.
Kansas City, Missouri, or Kansas City, Kansas.
Wherever Yakov Smirnoff is, that's where he is. That's like one of my favorite comedians.
Yeah, didn't he just get into something just recently? No,
I'm not too sure.
I don't know. Yakov Smirnoff.
Yeah, I don't know. Have you ever seen the show King of the Hill?
Yeah, god damn it, Bobby.
Yeah, I love watching. I've been rewatching it. Now, I have.
No, I have not.
I
haven't.
Now I understand Bobby so much more now
Why is that?
because the whole time he was trying to be a stand-up comedian.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And he mentioned so many names and stuff. I'm just like, holy shit.
Oh, dope.
It's so cool. Like now rewatching it with the like,
Is it over?
yeah, it's been over for a long ass time.
How many seasons?
I think it has 5 or 7.
Damn.
5 or 7. Yeah. That's crazy too. Can I spoil anything?
Yeah, go for it.
Are
you Chinese or you Laotian? Are you Japanese or you Laotian?
Are you Chinese
or
or
you Japanese? That's right. I'm Laotian. That's what it was.
Laotian? What ocean?
Are you Chinese or are you Japanese?
And I love how his dead grandfather, Cotton, remember Cotton Hill without the knees?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
He's the amputee guy who got his shins knocked out in World War II. I love that show. I've watched it so many times. Anyways, he can recognize an Asian and tell you exactly what race you are. Like, exactly, be like, no, he isn't. He's Laotian. Aren't you, Mr. Cotton? It's so fucking genius. I love that shit. But yeah, Bobby mentions a bunch of fucking comedians' names in there that I was just like, no way. And that was one of them. It's like Yakov Smirnoff is like, now that I've listened to his comedy now, it's just like, that guy's actually crazy. Like,
yeah,
it's fucking, I'm a fucking Russian guy who just has a bunch of weird ass jokes about my life in Russia.
Mother of Russia? Nick.
I walk into airport and see America loves Smirnoff. What a country. I'm just like, what? It's so dumb, but it's perfect. Like, I don't know. I've gotten into that like very weird humor where it's like basing off of their like ethnicity kind of.
Yeah.
Because I've heard a lot of the Latin kings of comedy too. I've been listening to a lot of them too with like Paul Rodriguez and Felipe Esperanza and shit like that.
Shout out.
I wish. They don't care. They're like, you have 266 followers.
I'm giving them a shout out from me.
Oh! That was it.
Yeah, I'll take it. Fuck it, I'll take it, right? Counts.
Oh, man. Well, we've been here for like an hour and 12 minutes.
Oh, shit. We're done? Okay, I guess we can go
We're not
home.
really done. We could just chill. We're just chilling out. We have 7 viewers. Thank you
What
guys.
up, 7 viewers? What's up, y'all?
Thank you guys for chilling, hanging out. You guys have any questions or concerns? Let us know.
I am a Chinese American, Asian American stand-up comedian hanging out with a buddy of mine. We're out here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, fucking living the goddamn life.
I'm a Mexican, guys.
He's a Mexican.
Pretty Mexican.
So
last time Josh was on here, he plugged his Instagram
Oh yeah, that's actually what I meant to do. I meant to say that, like, refer to myself in the third person, but the third person being my Instagram handle.
Just keep saying at.
Yeah, well, Loy Lee at Loy Lee Comedy on Instagram thinks that
That would have been good.
Yeah, that's my Instagram, Loy Lee Comedy. That's LOYLEE Lee comedy across all of your social media websites and at gmail.com and fucking.
You can find them
.com,
everywhere
yeah.
with just Loy Lee comedy.
Yeah. You could probably look up Loy. I think we did that last time, right? Just look up Loy Lee, Loylee, and you'll find me at some point.
You
right?
you were the main search until we saw that other guy. And
Yeah.
you were just like, that story was hilarious. It's like, we went through a whole debacle just to get each other's thing.
Yeah. It's weird when you email like Loy Lee at Hotmail, Loy Lee at Hotmail emails Loy Lee at Gmail, and they're two different people. And you're like, what fucking dimension do I live in?
Don't fuck with either of them.
Yeah.
It's actually like one of those parallel universe things here on one universe.
In Albuquerque, land of enchantment, we live in fucking Narnia, bro.
Gas mask said Oregon, Coast Newport, grew up near Paramount, Cali.
Oh, Paramount. Dope. You hood as shit, homie.
I like Ron White as a comedian. Sebastian Maniscalco does funny body movement and stuff.
Get in the
Gas mask. That's what's up. I've noticed that too. There's been some times where I just like try to like throw some kind of like flamboyant movement or something just to try to make the joke hit more or something.
Yeah, I think that's what I don't do well is I don't do body movements only because especially now, like for me, it takes me, I don't want to say takes me longer to get comfortable, but it takes me longer to get comfortable. If I'm doing a 5-minute set, like I'm not comfortable. Like
you're not trying to.
Here's a joke, here it is. But like when I know I'm doing 45 to an hour, it's like, oh, okay, here we go. Get in the fucking.
Start telling more stories with your hands.
That's my Sebastian Maniscalco. Fucking get it.
There you go.
If you guys have not seen Sebastian Maniscalco, the one you got to watch is Aren't You Embarrassed? Fucking hilarious.
Sounds good.
That shit is his master's piece.
That's sick.
Yeah, I said master's piece because, whatever.
It's past tense.
No, it's
Master's piece.
So as like Masons back in the day, the ones that are making cathedrals and shit.
Oh my god! Don't get me started with this. Oh,
What?
I'm so scared of the Illuminati.
No, Freemasons and Freemasons and Illuminati are two different things.
No, they're not. That's what they want you to think. I know. I've seen that on you all the time.
Yeah,
I'm just
I know.
like, God, how cool is he?
No, I am not. I'm a Freemason. Free and accepted Mason.
How is that even possible?
Of the DC District of Columbia jurisdiction, Justice Columbia 3. Shout out, what's up, homies?
So you obviously know some stuff.
No, we're not the Illuminati. We're
We're
not an Illuminati.
Fucking shit. That-
First of all, the Illuminati is not gonna get a fucking comedian. They're not gonna admit me, right? They find no value in me. You know how I know? Because the Illuminati has not approached me whatsoever. That's how I know. But yeah, I think so. As a Mason back in the day, like in order to become a master, right? Like a master, you actually had to create a piece that allowed you to pass. Like, oh, this piece of work has demonstrated that you have mastered your craft. So now you become a master.
A master's piece.
A master's piece, yeah. So people call, oh, this is your masterpiece. No, a master's piece is the piece of work that allows you to step into being a master. And where people think like a master's piece, like, oh, this is the pinnacle of your career. No, this is the beginning of your career.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I said master's piece.
Master's piece, everybody.
Yeah.
We're learning so much.
I'm not in the
here.
Illuminati, bro. You know how I know I'm not in the Illuminati?
Because you're in the Illuminati.
Because I'm in fucking Albuquerque. That's
the home of the Illuminati. How do you not know this? We've created so much crazy shit here for the Illuminati. The internet was created here.
okay.
The nuclear bomb was created here.
Okay.
The nuclear bomb was tested here.
I know. Fucking tell. Fucking hills have eyes.
There's alien fucking research that is done
Yeah, but it has
here.
nothing to do with the Illuminati.
2 national labs, not 1, 2. Why would there be 2 national labs here?
So so that's what it is. Since I'm flashing around this Freemasons ring, everyone's like, oh my God, he's Illuminati.
I just want you to be like close enough to me that you at least let me into the bunker when shit goes down. You're gonna be like, I know this guy. He's cool. He had a podcast. He let me on a few times.
Yeah, because they would be like, hey, this dude,
you know people, right? They'll give you 5 free tickets. Come on, man. Let me get somewhere. Come on.
hilarious. We got an open mic at the bunker.
I need to.
No, man, I think that's the crazy thing. Like, I had a conversation with my mom about being a Freemason, right? And the crazy thing is, like, Freemasons have lodges in literally like every fucking town in like every city,
So
every town.
have you been to this chapter over
I
here?
haven't been.
Are you looking for it?
No, I know that there's a bunch of lodges out here. I just it takes away from my comedy, and like to be a Mason.
You gotta do like ceremonial dances and shit.
Yeah, it's old school ritual. It's like shit that like the president of the United States did back in like fucking 1700.
Like the Illuminati.
I think the Illuminati is older, but they don't let me into these things.
They did it. Like,
What?
the Bohemian Grove?
Oh yeah, that's not us. That's fucking
you
not.
guys.
That is for sure.
I
not
saw
us.
that sign there.
You went to Bohemian Grove.
I saw it in a video there.
On the internet, totally not superimposed.
It was there.
It's probably I don't know. I don't know. I just know that we are not. We're just a charitable organization.
What do you think of owls?
They scare me.
That's what they think. I'm just kidding. I'm getting.
Did you ever watch like Clash of the Titans, the 1980,
Yeah.
the 1976 version?
Yeah, it's like papered mache.
Yeah, the owl always fucked me up in the head.
Well, at the Bohemian Grove, supposedly there's a ceremony where they burn an owl.
Yeah.
Well, they burn something in front of an owl.
Yeah.
The owl's called Moloch.
Okay.
Very ceremonial.
Oh, so you got the fucking names down, bro.
Dude, I was so deep in conspiracies when early fucking 2010.
So this is what I think, and generally, like the Freemasons are not the Illuminati, but I'm not saying the Illuminati weren't at some point members of the Freemasons.
They weren't?
I'm not saying I don't know. Like it would make more sense that they go, oh yeah, I'll join the fucking lodge.
I honestly feel like it's one of those things, kind of like religion, where it's like we're this big massive religion, and then we're like, yeah, we're not really into what you're doing. Let's go ahead and switch off, and then you end up getting Roman Catholics, and then we're not really that great either. Oh, now you get Jehovah's Witness, now you get like Baptist, and you get all these subgenres where that's where it kind of leads to now with the conspiracies of the Illuminati, the Freemasons, and whatever else. Have you ever heard of the Skull and Bones?
Yeah.
That kind of society or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're connected. I just think the people that are in one might be in the other as well, but organizationally they're not the same.
Maybe. Who knows?
I know they're not the same.
See? Dude,
I know they're not the same.
He just totally just threw out some evidence that it might be connected.
No, I'm saying they're not the same.
I don't believe you.
Okay. I mean, George. There are paintings of George Washington wearing his Masonic attire, his regalia, if you will, and that's not hidden.
Well, I think isn't it that Illuminati and Masonry comes way further than that too? Like it kind of relates to like Judeo-Christian and like the way religion works too.
So I don't think that I can actually.
He can't tell me the secrets. He can't say it.
No, I'm just not there. I don't.
He hasn't been initiated yet either.
I'm not in the bunker yet, bro. I'm not in the bunker. They say that we are more or less the traditions are descendants of is descended from the Knights Templar. The Knights Templar, the history goes that they were making most of their money transporting safe travel between like England and France, like Europe and Jerusalem. The Christians, they were basically escorting them because it's dangerous, right?
Yeah.
So they're just making all this money. And then on Good Friday, in Paris, they were people were revolting because they were poor and they were starving. So the Templars escorted the king into their fortress, and then the king already basically bankrupted the kingdom. That's why people were starving. That's why people were revolting. And he saw all the money that they had. And then when the revolution kind of went down and he was safe, he turned on the Templars and was like, fuck it, treason. You guys are treasonous. That's why the Catholics basically hate us and have always hated Freemasons. And nice.
Okay, I didn't know that.
And I'm kind of like, I'm cobbling the shit together. I don't have, this is nothing that I've learned through my Masonry. It's everything that I've learned through history.
Okay. So when you went through Masonry, what did you learn?
I learned how to become a better man, how to subdue my passions and be more charitable, how to be more aware of like my fellow brother, both Mason and human, and just to do what I can as long as it doesn't injure myself or my family.
So do you accept me even though I'm not a Mason?
I accept you as a friend, yes.
I just want to make sure we're cool because like I'm getting freaked out here. You're telling me all this crazy stuff where you're just like, so
I drive a Forester. Like, I don't think anybody in the Illuminati would be driving a fucking Forester.
I think the most elite in the Illuminati drive the most inconspicuous, unnoticeable.
Wow. I like how I went from a Freemason to the Illuminati to elite Illuminati. Hey, I think if you were like top of the food chain, you inconspicuous. A Forester, 2016, fucking crushing it.
He knows, dude. I'm just saying. I mean, again, the conspiracy nut in me is just like totally freaking out with the ring all the time. But I mean, that's just
so you've been seeing this. Like I wear a ring, and it's a fucking pinky ring. It has the square and compass on it. It's the Freemason. I mean, look it up. You have a Freemason lodge in your town. You probably have a bunch of them. Albuquerque has like 7 of them, 8 of them.
okay.
And it's just a bunch of guys that come together to both basically become better men, like learn, like it's a fraternity. And we drink and eat and be merry, basically. While at the same time try to figure out how to improve our community.
It sounds like a cult.
It's a fraternity.
A fraternity.
Yeah, fraternity.
So you guys like get drunk and like
Not in the lodge, but yeah, it's like at any point. The great thing about being in this specific fraternity, and I think a lot of fraternities where you kind of like, I've never had to have met you, but I know if you are in this fraternity, then there is a level of expectation. There's a level of accordance where you can like, I've just met you, but I'm super comfortable with you. And just because I just know that you hold yourself to a specific standard. And that's the beauty of it. So when I haven't reached out to any lodges here, but when I have traveled, when I do travel, it's like, if I have an extra day off, I'll ring up the lodge, the local lodge, and be like, hey, I'm in town. This is what I do. Blah, 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 blah. Let's go hang out.
Yeah, it makes it seem like being a Freemason, you'd be like calling up the local lodges when you move into a new place. Be like, hey, so where's the safest place to move in? Where's less crime?
Yeah. Well, the beauty of my situation here, like I think I would have, like realistically, I would have, like if I didn't have in-laws in here and like already a place to stay and already the plans. Yeah. I would have been like, hey, I'm planning to move out here. Do you have like a brother that's a realtor, or do you have a brother that's like
What? That sounds scary.
No.
Don't say terms like that.
a brother?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it makes it sound like more of a connection in a way where like we had to slit each other in the hand and have a handshake. Like we had to blood.
Oh, so you've seen it.
Oh, dude, see what I'm saying is like.
So you've done this before. That's dope.
Yeah, but it was like
Yeah. See, if you look at this line, it's right there. That's when you. Yeah.
literally, and then just being like, we made a deal.
No, it's not shaking. It's 2020. We fucking high five. Cut your hand. Fucking high five. Slap the goat. High five. Wait, what?
Brother, yeah. Just kidding.
Did you say goat?
That's the best way. See, and that's what makes it even more satanic. You just said goat.
Yeah.
The
Got weird.
That's some Illuminati shit right there.
So yeah, I think the big thing. So I had a conversation with my mom. My mom found out that I was a Mason, and she was like,
That's the devil.
yeah, basically, she saw like 2 YouTube videos. It was like, oh, I know everything about it. So a little bit about me. My godfather, somebody that I really respected as a man growing up, he was a Mason, and he used it more so as like kind of like a Rotary Club, a Lions Club, Knights of Columbus, that kind of thing, like a community order. And one of the things about being a Mason and joining the Freemasonry is that we don't recruit. Like if you want, like the saying is, to be one, you have to ask one. So like the first step is to be like, hey, Lloyd, I want to know more about being a Freemason. Can you explain it to me?
What have I been doing this whole time?
You haven't. I mean, yeah, you've been asking me, but you haven't asked me how to join or how to be part of one. You just like, I just want your ancillary benefits. So when I told her, I was like, oh, like, so the way I breached the topic was like, hey, out of curiosity, do you know which lodge my godfather was at? Because she and she was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, oh, do you remember his ring? He had like a nice, gaudy ring. And she goes, oh, that's what that is? Oh, I know everything about that. And I was like, oh, you watched one YouTube video, you know everything about Freemason. Okay. And then I told her I was a Freemason. And the big thing you have to explain to is like, we are not, the Freemason is not a religion. It's not a religion. It's not a cult. It's not a religion. It's a fraternity of religious men. So it doesn't matter what religion you are, but you have to have a religion. You cannot be
an atheist.
An atheist.
That's very discriminative.
And the big thing is like,
I thought you're learning values and stuff.
Of course. And the big thing is like, if you don't have a idea of like a higher being, then how can we trust your word? Like you can just, we swear on the Bible, all of that. If you don't believe in something higher, then how can your word really be anything?
Goddamn.
Yeah. So the big thing is like we are men of religion that come together for charitable reasons. And we do, I don't know what the Grand Lodge of New Mexico or the Albuquerque do, but I know in DC we did a lot of great work, a lot of community outreach. We do a lot of things. So, and once you become a Mason, then you can actually, there's appended bodies like Shriners who run the Shriners Hospital. And basically it's a children's hospital that, when admitted, the children don't have to pay anything. Okay. Anything that they need is taken care of. We do a lot of that.
So Shriners are part of the Freemasons?
Yes. So this gets weird. This gets kind of, when I explain this to people, people kind of get weird. But as a Mason, you become in as level 1, entered apprentice, and then you become a second, and then the third is your master. You become a master at the third level. With
a robe and a cloak.
No.
And your eyes cut out, little eye holes.
That's the KKK. No. I think that's the Ku Klux Klan. Those are not the same thing.
It's a Halloween costume.
So Freemasonry is 3 levels. And then the appended bodies, whether it be Knights of Templar, Scottish Rite, York Rite, or Shriners, that's level 4 through 33.
Did you just say 4 through 33?
Correct. 30, technically 30, realistically 32. 33 is an invite only.
How do you get, okay, so obviously I'll never be able to get to 33, but so is it like jujitsu? You just have to work your way up the belt rank?
Yeah, there's different lessons you have to learn and be able to understand and comprehend and stuff like that to move up. I mean, it's not like, I don't know. I'm not there. I'm still in the Blue Lodge. I'm still level 3. I'm a Master Mason, and I am a Master Mason.
Damn, but still only level 3.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. So you can't turn water into wine yet.
I mean, I'm a brew. Like I'm trying to be a Cicerone, so yeah, I can do that, Master Brewer.
But that's not like.
I mean,
that's not the Mason way, though, right?
I've got a brew kit at home. I can turn that water into fucking beer. That's close, right? Takes a couple fucking weeks.
It gets done somehow.
I mean, I do it.
Legally Insane says, LMAO, you two are hilarious. You work off each other very well.
Oh, thank you.
I appreciate that, man. I really do.
I fucking hate this guy, but he's got all the equipment and Twizzlers.
This is the first time I met him.
Yeah, I don't know where am I?
What is this guy? Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah, so we're not the Illuminati.
I get it. I mean, it was just one of those things back in the day when I first saw the video. They did it was talking about the Illuminati, but they showed symbols of those.
Yeah.
So that's where it kind of associates it with.
So yeah, I think that's kind of, the Catholic Church is very anti-Freemasonry, and that basically stems from the Knights of Templar, and that also, like, if you look at it, it's very known that, I think, don't quote me, there's a large chunk of the American presidents, U.S. presidents, were Freemasons.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Yeah,
that's where that's society too. That's Skull and Bone Society. That a lot of them were part of that as well.
Yeah, I feel like that's a college thing. Like that started at college. Like,
yeah, that's a fraternity.
Yeah, it's a fraternity. But those are separate. Just because you could be in Skull and Bones and not a Freemason, you can be a Freemason. I'm a Freemason that was never in Skull and Bones.
So you could have been like in 3 of them if you wanted to. Illuminati,
I guess so. I don't know how it all works, but yeah, sure. But just because you're all 3 doesn't mean all 3 are the same.
Okay,
does it make sense?
I get what you're saying. It's like if you were like, oh, I go to the same venue, but I do comedy and a musician, so I'm just an entertainer. Technically, you're not. You have both of the titles to do at different times.
Yep. Sure, I guess that works.
That makes sense. That's an analogy we all can understand.
So yeah, Sebastian Maniscalco, his master's piece is Aren't You Embarrassed?
Gas Mask was like, all clubs are about swinging influences among members, circle jerks, riding the scapegoat, and then the grand architect.
Yep, grand architect. God, basically, whatever you want to call him, God.
The Legally Insane said, this Freemason topic is good. Keep it going.
Okay, so if you guys are really, really curious, I think the best documentary that's out there is...
Don't go and watch the YouTube videos.
Don't watch YouTube videos. It's on Netflix. It's like Becoming a Freemason, I think is what it's called.
Why Becoming a Freemason?
I think that's what it is. And it kind of follows, like, I got 2 or 3 episodes in, and it's kind of like... they're kind of following a couple people that are just joining, and it takes place in England, and their Grand Lodge is like it's pretty.
It's like a fucking mansion. It's a school. It's a school.
That's where I came. In DC, we've got fucking amazing buildings, but I'm looking at their traditions, their rituals are a lot more involved than what I'm used to.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but if you guys want to watch it, Netflix, I think it's called Becoming a Freemason, and it's like a series. It's like 5 or 6 episodes, and I think the first 3 episodes like really, really good at like showing you kind of my experience in becoming a Freemason. They don't tell you any, like when I became a Freemason, it started with an email. I had to ask a lodge, being like, "Hey, I'm interested. Here's my contact information." And then somebody called me and we had a conversation. He wanted to know more about me.
Just a random ring.
It was, yeah, it was, and we had a great talk. He was the worshipful master of the lodge. And so basically the head guy, the president of the lodge, which is a year term.
What was the title again?
Worshipful master.
Worshipful master.
Yeah.
Geez, that sounds so weird too. Like the titles, they sound so like,
It's formal, and a lot of the rituals we use like kind of old English. Some of it's like super clumsy and clunky, but
Sar there, the dragon.
There's no dragons, but yeah, but more so it's like, where cometh thee? Like maybe not that bad, but it's like it's the words are clumsy, and the thing is like you have to learn the ritual as it is. Like you can't change it, because what happens if I change it, then I teach it to you changed, and then you change it a little bit, and then. In 4 years, it's nothing like its original. So the way that we do the way that we say our speeches and stuff is exactly the way it was when like George Washington was doing it.
So like, yeah, like whatever, exactly the same words and everything spoken.
In theory. And this is one of the funny things that rattle around in my head. It's like, if I were to time travel.
Do you really think it would be the same?
It would be close enough. I think it'd be close enough to where I would be okay. That's how old and clunky it is. And it's difficult when you remember, because as a comic, like we don't remember word for word. We just remember like, oh, this is, you just say like
topic phrases.
Yeah, you say this, say that, say this. But this is like, no. It's this word, this word, this word, this word 900 times. Like it's not easy. It's difficult for me because I free ball everything.
Legally Insane says being a Freemason sounds badass.
I think we do it to become better men. We do it to better our communities. We do this to better our families. And one of the ancillary perks, but should never be the main reason, is like, yeah, I've got an amazing network of brothers that I know will look out for me. I could call up the lodge now and be like, hey, I'm here now. I am having this situation. Can you
help out?
Can you help out? And it could, I know that's super general, but I mean that generally. Like, hey, I'm having issues with this, and then they'll have a brother call me and just be like, hey,
That's what's so fucked up, is it makes me seem like, okay, so me and you go to a car dealership, and we're like trying to buy a car, but yet you have this ring, and the other guy has a fucking Freemason ring. So there goes the car deal of the century when I get middled because I'm not a brother.
I mean, so yeah, like, yeah, and that's one of the things. Like, I bought my car from a brother.
See,
and not for any reason, but other than like, I want to know that I'm being taken care of. It's not because I got a good deal on it. I know that I'm not getting screwed over.
Hey,
What's up, yo?
Thank you for that
Hey!
follow. I appreciate that.
Who is it? I can't read it.
Mausian, I think it said.
Oh, dope.
Mouse-E-N. I can't really pronounce that. I didn't see it too well, but thanks for the follow. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Loy Lee Comedy on Instagram.
Go to the YouTube if you're on your PlayStation, and you can actually interact in the chat as well.
Dope.
So let us know.
So the big thing is, for me, it's like I know that there's a difference between like taking advantage, being taken care of, and getting taken advantage of. You know what I mean? Like, and the thing is, I know that I'm just being taken care of. Like, I know that he's going to be as honest as he possibly can with me.
Okay. He'll be like, just let you know, bro, they smoked in this car.
Yeah, or like they're charged, like you should probably not buy this car, something like that. Yeah. Like I just know that I'm going to be taken care of as best as I possibly can. And then that is one of the things is like, any city I go to, I know I got a drinking buddy. I'm on the road an okay amount. Maybe not so much when I'm here, but when I was on the East Coast, I was on the road a decent amount. And nothing is more lonely being on the road as a comedian, being like, Thursday, I'm here Thursday. I've got nothing to do until, Friday. And you just call up a lodge, email the lodge and be like, hey, can you just shoot out an email? Whoever wants to meet me at this bar, this hotel bar, whatever. And you've got brothers to hang out with.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's a fraternity, but like exactly what a fraternity is supposed to be, not like a college fraternity of like
raping.
Yeah, don't fucking rape, that's for sure. Hazing. It's and also gives me something to strive for. For me, it's like being able to do these rituals. These rituals have been done since the 1700s, and it's like I'm part of something significantly larger than me. As a stand-up comedian, I'm always by myself, driving, you go to the venue, you do your comedy, you go home. It's fucking lonely to know that I've got brothers that have done exactly the same ritual with me, can do the same speeches as me. Like it feels good to know that you're not alone.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Kind of, because I mean, I get the sense of like the brotherhood thing where you got kind of no matter what you do or what happens, you always have like some kind of saying or value or some kind of thing that you can kind of refer to. Mm-hmm. Even if you're feeling sad, you're feeling powerful, you're feeling vulnerable, anything. You're just like, oh, whatever was taught to me or is said to me, I can remember or reminisce on because it's like a value or a moral.
And I don't want to discredit military, but it's like one of those things where it's like, oh, you're a Ranger, I'm a Ranger. Like that's all you have to say. And you're like, oh, bet, he's letting you know that I'm not alone and that you're not alone. Like it's that good feeling of just being part of something bigger.
Yeah, I get you. Because there are I kind of feel bad when I do say that joke when I'm just like, the whole 4 year. Because it's kind of offensive to people that have put a lot of time into the military and feel like they've been there for a long time.
Yeah, but that's fine because that's the joke. That's the joke. But you're fine.
So that's the thing though. I have the new tagline after it where I'm like, does anybody remember seeing their first penis, someone else's first penis?
Yeah, and you're like, yeah, I heard that tag.
Does anybody remember?
Don't give that tag away. They got to come see you to hear that tag.
Well, but you get what I'm saying though. I feel like that makes it even more offensive now. Like, oh great, this guy's talking about being gay in the military. We're not all gay.
You're fine.
All right. Well, see, that's the beauty of comedy is like learning the ins and outs of what's acceptable and what's not.
And when you get down the road further, you'll be like, oh, all of your jokes are hacky as shit. That's just the thing that we come to realize. Like, oh, I'm not as good as I thought I was back then. I'm glad I've gotten better.
That's good.
You're always improving yourself. Like Freemasonry, you're always improving yourself.
That's good ambition to have. Like, you're always better than the last time.
It's one of those things. The reason why, like, when you go home and your parents, like, for the holidays, and your parents bring out like the box of your elementary school shit, and there's like paintings and hand turkeys and fucking macaroni necklaces, and shit's embarrassing. You don't want to see that shit, but. Could you imagine if literally everything you do is saved in a box and you can just see like, oh, kindergarten, first grade, fucking 18 years old, 25 years old. Like you can see you progress.
Okay. So saying that though, it kind of is the future now because people that were born in like 2000 and what? 5. Even
have never known anything without digital photos.
yeah. Their whole history has been mapped out, even from a baby. Some of those people have had profiles since they were fucking born.
Yeah.
So that's crazy to think about, that they'll always, even if you wanted to know the aspect of someone else's life, you pretty much can now.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm glad I grew up in the 80s. Fuck, I lie about everything, bro. Like, you can't prove shit. You gotta go fucking find microfiche in like fucking newspaper articles and shit. I'm fucking lie about everything, bro.
yeah, that's crazy to think about too, right? You can't really just go look and find out things about certain people anymore.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think like, I wrestled in high school 1 year, and yeah, I know. I was fucking amazing. I was third in the region, fourth in the state.
What was your weight class?
119.
What's up, dog? Let's go. What's up? Let's do this.
I'm fucking 155 right now. I'll fucking sit on you, bro.
Super class. Let's do this.
Catch weight.
we got something.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, I tried to look up. I just wanted to prove that I was fourth in the state. And I couldn't find the newspaper clipping.
Damn.
Like, I literally went to the local newspaper website, and
It didn't go that far.
It didn't go that far.
It wasn't archived that long.
Yeah, and it was like one of those things where, like, I called them up and I was like, "Hey, do you have these years? Blah 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 blah." And that's what we're looking for, and they're like, "Yeah, we don't go back that far." So literally, that shit is gone. So I was second in the state.
Right.
Fucking just lie. Second and a half.
It's even worse now too. You could fucking make up your own Wikipedia page and just be like, yeah, I made it second twice
In the same year. Nobody's ever done that. I've champed 3 weight classes.
You know what happened is that, like, you went to one school, failed, and then went to another school in another district and competed there.
Yeah, that's what you had to do back then. Like, you like now. Remember, like, there's always these 80s and 90s movies where, like, the kid fucked up in one school and then showed up in another school and was like lied about everything. Like, they don't, like, you can't do that now. You're like, oh, you're from that school? Dope. That never happened. Boom.
Lies.
Yeah. So,
that's kind of beautiful. I love that analogy too, because I feel like my high school career, my high school life was that. All through, like, my freshman through junior year, I was a nerd. So shitty. Like, I was a gothic nerd. Always wore in black. Straight up. Like, you can kind of see the hair now, but, like, trip pants, the dumbest shit ever, dude. Ever.
Jenko jeans, just hair covering one eye. Fucking hate it here, Mom.
So I went to Los Lunas High School.
Okay.
But then my parents were kind of like drug addicts and stuff, and I asked my grandpa if I can go spend my last year of high school with him in Taos.
Yeah.
And I went there and I reevaluated
Reinvented.
Totally, dude.
Yeah.
I became the prom king.
That's dope.
How the fuck, dude? It blew my mind away that I actually had that much. So ever since then, my confidence and, like, level of, like, my who I am now is just built so much more now because, like, how that happened.
And I think that's, like, super important. Like, I moved around. I went to 3 high schools in 4 years, and then, like, every year you're just kind of like, oh, like, you can course correct. And especially back then, like, or, at that age, you're course correcting hard. You're always known at your first schools, oh, you're the goth guy. Even if you cut your hair and wore a suit, everyone's like, fuck this goth guy.
Right.
You're like, I don't even have piercings. Like, fuck that goth guy. But then you move and you're like, oh, this is who I want to be. And you can, like, literally change who you want to be. And you move again and you're like, oh, and you start to, like, define of who, yeah.
Because I technically was kind of the same person. Like, I still was goth with all the piercings and stuff, but they saw it as a cooler sense. They were like, oh, look at this guy. We don't really have a lot of these kind of guys here. He's cool. Like, oh, and he plays guitar. Oh,
fuck, I wanted to do that.
Cool.
Because now I've got a template.
Now I can see somebody that does that. Yeah. And that's always crazy to think about.
That's why I moved to Albuquerque. I just need to get rid of
You're just like, I just need to...
I'm not even a comedian. I've never even done comedy before.
Dude, this guy had more hype when he got here than anybody I've ever seen right now.
What do you mean? How did you figure?
Dude, okay, so, like, the very first time I saw you was at Founders, and Royal introduced you from, like, oh, this guy's amazing. He's a out-of-state guy. He's done some cool stuff. Not really hyped as much as I thought until the next night. I think you were at the Raw and Sauce, but that's when more people found out about you. And it got more hyped. And now I'm just assuming, in my sense, you're a pretty hyped comedian now because of your, like, not saying you're reinvented, but you're, like,
Yeah.
The credentials you have from where you came from and what you've done everywhere else, so we're just like, holy shit, compared to everyone else here, hasn't done any of that shit.
Yeah, and I think that I have not reinvented my image or anything, but being in Albuquerque has definitely helped me. Excuse me, has helped me find my groove again. I lost it. I lost the happiness when I moved. When I was in DC, I was fucking miserable. The comedy scene just wasn't. I wasn't getting I wasn't making the movement that I thought I could be, and I felt like I was being held back. So coming here, not only am I feeling better, I feel like I'm improving. Like I'm more confident in writing and putting out new bits and stuff like that. So yeah, I've reinvented myself a little bit.
That's crazy.
I'm fucking the happy Loy. Find your fucking happiness, guys. If you're not happy, find your fucking Albuquerque.
That's true. Well, I don't know. I'm. It's not that I'm not happy here, but I feel like I'm stuck here.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you've got stuff and you've got obligation, and it's fucking difficult. And every day, like I tell my wife, you shouldn't do this, people, but I tell my wife literally as often as I can, is like, if we weren't together, if you leave me, I'm fucking living in a van. I'm taking our savings. I'm taking half the savings. I'm buying a fucking van. I'm living in a van. She hates that when I say that. But
that makes sense though, because you're doing what you want to do.
Yeah. It's like I don't want to be fucking tied down to like out of all the places that I've lived, all the places I've visited, there's no place that I was like, oh, I gotta set roots down here. Like everything's like, yeah, it's cool. Like Albuquerque is cool. I like it, but it's like, is it like there isn't a place on my list like I have to live here? Vegas is dope. LA is dope, but it's expensive. DC, I fucking hate. Everything above DC is fucking horrible weather. There's no place I want to live.
I think the only real other money marketing badass comedy place would be like Denver and something like that. Maybe Austin, something like that.
But those places are fucking expensive. Okay. Denver's expensive. Austin's expensive. There's just like no place that and as a comic, is like I just want to be able to be mobile, and then I want to be able to get to an airport, and I want to fly to where I need to be, and then fly back and live in a fucking van. Yeah, reinvent yourself. Find your fucking Albuquerque, people.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So
make your money how you can.
I'm sorry that I out hyped you for when I came in here, but we're friends now, right?
I didn't want that much hype, okay?
You wanted all that hype.
I still know. Okay, see, that's the thing, too.
He wanted all of the hype.
I still know.
That's the hype I want.
I still know that I'm getting there. And, like, I love how you kind of put it. So you're like, you've been doing this for 9 years, and you're still kind of getting the groove of it. Mm-hmm. You're still learning how to do it. So that kind of motivates me. It's like, damn, I still have a lot to learn. A lot.
Yeah, and I think we've had this conversation before, but, when you go to your job for the first time, right? New job, show up first day. Like, how long does it take you to get actually comfortable to like do your job unassisted and you could do it competently?
It does take some time.
Take some time. So, but what's crazy is like, give me a number, like just for all purposes intended. Like, how long does it take you to be like, you do unsupervised, you don't have to call anybody, you can just do your job? How long does that take?
Probably when I first started the job, probably had to take me at least like 3 weeks.
3 weeks. Okay, let's just say a month, right? A month. You just for easy math. So for a month, you go, you work 40 hours, 40, 80, 160 hours, right? So you work 160 hours to get comfortable and competent. So 160 hours. Now you go out 5 times a week and you do 5 minutes each. That's 25 minutes. How many fucking weeks does it take you to get through your first day of 8-hour work?
Oh, okay.
Does it make sense, people?
Yeah. So it literally takes me 2 weeks to get to 1 day.
Sure. If that's how the math breaks down. Yeah. It's like you do 5 sets a week at 5 minutes each. That's 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's just 1 week. So that's 25 minutes.
Yeah, 25 minutes per week. So you do 25, 50, 100 minutes. You're an hour and 40 minutes in your first month. So in your first month of comedy, in theory, you haven't even gotten to your lunch break in your first day.
Okay, yeah, I see it.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
So you go, okay, whatever the math breaks down to, it takes you like 2 years, 3 years to like go, oh, I am competent in comedy.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Because there was another analogy of like the Empire State Building. Like, just depending on what floor you're on, that's the level of how long it took you to get there. Because, like, maybe you are at, like, level 4, but there's still, like, fucking over 157 up there. So it still takes a lot longer of what time it is.
So what would we say, 120 hours? 160 hours. 160 hours multiplied by 60 minutes. That's 9,600 minutes. Divide that by 5-minute sets, 1,920 sets. And then you divide that by 5 sets a week.
About, yeah.
That's 380 weeks. Divide that by 52. So it's, yeah, like 7 years. And at this pace, it would take you like 7 years to get
comfortable,
to get to your first month of work.
That's crazy. That's so, yeah, that's intense.
And if my math's wrong, it's like, it's somewhere, you get the point. Like,
it's a long time.
It's a long time. It's a long time, you know? And I've been doing it, I think I'm going into my 9th year. So yeah, I've just gotten competent. I've just gotten like, oh, I'm in my 2nd month or something, you know, whatever it is, because I'm getting longer sets and I'm doing more, whatever. But you go, oh, I'm in my 2nd month of work. Some people take, you know, 30 years, you know, it's like they've been doing comedy 30 years. You go, oh, have you even created your master's piece yet? Maybe, I don't know, you know, like that.
Yeah.
30 years in and you go, oh my God, people would retire. Yeah, but you're not doing 8 hours a day, 5 days a week.
You're doing 5 minutes
for
a really long time.
So headliners, if you think about it, headliners, they're doing, let's say 5 shows a week, you know, Thursday, 1 show Thursday, 2 on Friday, 2 on Saturday, 5 shows a week at an hour a piece. So you're 5 hours a week, 5 hours a week, 5 times 4 is you're doing 20 hours. So it gets skewed the more you go up. But in theory, you're 30 years in and you are, you know, you're up and running. You're good to go. So that's where I'm at right now, where I'm trying to like, oh, let me film this shit. Let me try to get actual full-time headlining shit. Like I need to be able to do more time, longer time, and just level up.
Nice.
That's what I'm trying to do, people. I'm trying to level up. I'm trying to super sail on this fucking comedy game.
That's what's up. Over 9,000, that's for sure.
Over 9,000,
dude. That's what's crazy to think about too. Like, you're gonna start working on your special and stuff. Like, what ideas are you like thinking about? Like, where are you gonna like record it at? And like, what are you gonna do? Like, I've seen some ideas too. Like, I'm throwing this out there, but like multiple camera angles.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely. The way that it works off of the sound, so lapel mic maybe, even though you do have a mic, still to get proper sound out of that. Like, how does that? It all like there's just because I was into film a long time ago as well too, because I have so many fucking dumb skills. But that's another thing is like, how does the filming of comedy work?
I think it's probably got to be easier, right? So I think idealistically, I'm grateful to Albuquerque, even though I've only been here 2 months. I've been here since basically Christmas. So I've been doing comedy here January, February. I'm going into my 3rd month here. Like I'm indirectly grateful to Albuquerque. Like I definitely want to film my first album here for sure. I kind of don't care where. I've got a couple ideas as far as venues. At this point, multiple camera angles, a lapel mic for sure. And it doesn't matter to me because it's going to be my macaroni necklace. You know, it's the first one. It's just my calling card. You're not anywhere until you're somewhere, and this is going to put me somewhere. So I got to be able to make it look good, sound good. The jokes, I mean, I'll write new jokes. You know, that's what it comes down to. You go, well, the joke's not ready. Yeah, but they've got to be ready enough. That's the problem with it. I think a lot of comics is they say, oh, the joke's not ready. Even headliners are like, oh, I can't do an hour a year. Maybe not. I don't know. But I don't think that, I mean, musicians, they put out an album a year, right?
Yeah, some dude, one of my favorite guitar players, Buckethead, he puts out at least 2 to 3 albums a year.
Shit. But you know, your traditional is like every year, right? Yeah. There's a new album every year. Why? Because you don't want to lose relevancy. And you're gonna go like, oh, your favorite artist, do you love literally every track off of every album? Probably not.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's like, for me, it's like I just need to be able to position myself as pass or fail entertaining. Oh, it's entertaining. Pass or fail funny. You know, whatever. And then you go here's enough jokes in here where you go, oh, this album, I enjoyed this 40 minutes, this half hour, 40 minutes, whatever it might be. And then just not deal with like this old overarching storyline of, oh, the joke's got to be perfect. Everything's got to be perfect. Everything's got to be perfect. No, everything has got to be entertaining. That's it. Why? Because most people, I don't think, remember specials. They remember bits. They remember like, oh, that's a funny bit. Okay, great. What album is that off of? Yeah. Oh, it's the one where he's wearing the blue tux. Okay, well, what's it called? I don't know. Name another joke off that album. You know? Yeah. So for here, it's like, for me, I think that it's bit driven. Like, do I have, in 40 minutes, do I have good, I don't know, whatever the number is, 5 good bits? Great. There it is. I'm done. Fuck, I don't know. I haven't done it yet. So
we're still trying to figure it out. He's still trying to get it going.
I mean, I've got the material. Where I could definitely do. I don't know the exact timetable, and maybe I'm giving this away a little too much. But it's like I'd be content doing, you know, a new half hour 45 every 9 months.
Okay, that's actually not that bad either.
Where it's topical, because a lot of this shit's like, as a comic, you go, oh, my special. I'm gonna do my special in 2 years. And you go, great, but the jokes that you're writing that's important now to you won't be relevant in 2 years.
Yeah, you have to keep it relevant.
Yeah, so every 9 months, I'm keeping relevant, but I go, here's some shit that happened 9 months ago. Is it one of the 5 bits that are good? No, but it's like, it's entertaining. Here's 5 good bits, and then here's some topical shit in between. However that breaks down.
Okay, and that's going to be kind of like an idea format.
Yeah.
Kind of for like making, like you said, they want to remember. When they do remember, it's a bit inside of the special.
Yeah.
They're not going to be like, oh, I can recite all of Loy Lee's special. Like,
nobody says that.
It's going to be just like, oh, yeah, remember that one part
of
it.
And then, you know, even when you listen to the shit on Sirius XM or Pandora or Spotify, nobody's listening to the whole album. Here's a bit. Here's a good bit. Here's another good bit.
Yeah, you're driving to work. You listen to 20 minutes of it. That's it.
Yeah.
You're not listening to the whole hour of it.
Right. So I think that we've changed. Yet comedy wants to hold on to the old formats.
That makes sense, though. It really does. Like, especially if you're keeping it relevant and everything, too. That 9 month span is actually kind of, it's not a long time for things to die down.
You know, I think 9 months is like that sweet spot where things just kind of go like Harvey Weinstein, still relevant, you know, and then like as it drops or whatever the topic might be, we might be done with it. You know, Tupac on the Reservation is old now because we live next to the reservation. But in other places, it might still be relevant in 3 months because they're just now hearing about it.
Okay.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And you know, people who watch comedy, they might not be on, you know, updated. You know, they don't care what's trending. They hear about it when they hear about it. And it might be 2 months. So in 2 months, and I drop a special 2 months after that, it's still kind of in their brain.
They're like, oh shit, did that really happen? And then they go find it or look for it.
Oh yeah, like, oh yeah, I remember that. That's funny. You know, and that's the thing. Like, I just want to get all of these jokes out of my head because at this point, I want to be like Prince. Prince had a bank vault installed in Paisley Park, and he filled it with unreleased music to the point when he died, he had it overflowing inside and then just tapes outside of it, just in boxes. I just want to here's all of the shit.
No matter what time period, you can hear
it. You recorded, done. And then maybe like The Simpsons, you know, what are they, 35 seasons in? I might be prolific, you know, where you're like, oh shit, I remember that. Lloyd talked about that 5 years ago. Here's the bit about that thing.
He predicted the future.
I mean, you can't predict the future if you don't have enough content.
That's very true. That is true as fuck. Like, dude, how can The Simpsons not predict the future with over 35 seasons, right?
35 seasons at 22 episodes a season at fucking...
We don't need another math equation, dude.
My bad. I'm just saying mathematically.
I get it. There's a lot of shit to go through.
Yeah.
Even little scenes, but yeah, how can they not predict the future?
Sorry, I didn't mean to bore everybody with math. I'm just saying.
He hit you with another math one. Loy, we've been here for 2 hours now.
Is this the longest one?
No.
Fuck!
Close enough, though.
I don't want close enough. I want longest.
Legally Insane said, you boys need another beer. Funny listening to you both.
All right. Well, you know what? This is what we need you to do. come back next Thursday. We'll have other things to talk about.
I appreciate that, man. Everybody who's on right now, thank you guys for joining. You guys should make sure to subscribe, hit the follow, all that good stuff. You make sure to follow MuseMe TV, also MuseMe137 on the Instagram. Loy Lee Comedy everywhere, social media. You know where it's at. Loy Lee, this guy's amazing. He's fucking cool as hell. I'm glad to have him.
If you follow me on Instagram, Loy Lee Comedy, just send me a message. Follow me, send me a message like, yeah, saw you on MuseMe, yeah, whatever, and then we can have this conversation. If you want to know more about Freemasonry, ask a Mason. I'm a fucking Mason.
A Mason, remember. And technically, I did ask to be on there, but he didn't really get the answer.
Yeah, because you have to ask directly. I answered the question you asked. That's something that's very Masonic. I will answer the question you ask, not the question you implied, but the question you asked.
See, that makes me even more scared.
No, just ask the right fucking question. Good night, guys.
Thank you guys for joining.
Thank you for listening. Love you.
Awesome. Peace out.
Hit me with that music, bro.
It's been playing this whole time.
Oh, I haven't been listening to it.
It's on repeat every 5 minutes.